You're a Spurs
I like
fan?
how that turned from super quick, like super straight, like 10 seconds.
No,
and we were
yeah.
still talking about football the entire time.
Man.
It really
it took
is.
like 30
Yeah.
seconds.
Pretty insane. Anyway, welcome back to the Totally Normal Folks podcast, or actually Totally Normal podcast, I should say, with your hosts, Satya Permesi, Ari Siddhartha, and Daniel. Today we are here with a guest who we found on the side of the street. His name is Dizzy. You may know him as a man who does political content creation on the gram. Do you do TikTok as well?
I just use it to mirror my Instagram posts.
Pretty much same with me, actually.
Okay.
Turns out probably not a good strategy. As it turns out.
So far it hasn't really panned out.
No, it really isn't.
Yeah, nobody's
yeah.
been reaching out to me to be the Tim says.
Yeah, no.
And
too
that's the
bad.
ultimate goal, actually.
It is.
That's
At
the
the
ultimate
end of
goal,
the day,
yeah.
yeah.
If you could choose one party
Mhm.
to be the team says of, who would you choose?
If I have to.
Yeah.
Is this the part we're gonna have to cut?
Yeah.
This is the part we're gonna have to
All
cut.
For like
roads-
5 minutes.
All roads lead to Istana Presiden.
Our producer Luke is looking at me very intensely, like, you better
Oh,
stop.
he's not loving this.
He is really not loving this. I do apologize for that.
I guess,
sir.
if it's, I guess if it's any party at all, how about Partai Kebahagiaan Indonesia?
Hey!
Don't shorten that. Don't abbreviate that.
The
Very
National
nice.
Happiness, the National Happiness Party. There you go.
Yes.
There you go.
Fantastic. We actually do have quite a lot to talk about because, as you are probably very well aware of, we have seen quite a lot of things happening over the last few weeks, over the last few months.
A little too many,
Actually, over the last year and a half since somebody got into the presidency. I wonder who that is.
Yeah.
And, we've seen a lot of people go to jail.
Mhm.
There you
We've
go.
seen people dying on the streets.
Yeah, literally.
We've seen
We've seen a lot of people avoid jail very conveniently.
very interestingly, yeah, we have seen a lot of people avoid jail, and we have seen probably an interesting direction in which the economy is going, in which I would say all of us has actually been.
By direction, you
affected.
mean down.
Yeah, that's certainly one of the directions. Yeah, I was thinking
That is the direction that it's going.
inside out as well.
Inside out,
Yeah, like a
like the movie.
like a black hole.
Or
know?
when they,
Yeah,
or
or
when
like
they
a
say, okay, gas, when you press the gas pedal do go down. Right?
But no, it's true. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, that's a really good
So,
point.
that was
Okay.
what
Yeah.
they were That was the whole point.
Mm.
That
Yes.
was they were
Yeah.
thinking ahead.
And now it's hard to even go get gas.
No, it really is. Yeah.
Chestnut
And-
checkers.
And so many things have happened over the last year and a half, and so many things have indeed happened over the last week alone that we don't really know where to start.
Yeah, I agree. When I was trying to make content, like I usually react to like current events and all that, right? And it's been so overwhelming. Like
Mm.
opening my Instagram to like get an update or something, I would
Yeah.
open Narasi News or any other.
Yeah.
Wait, am I allowed to name drop brands? I'm gonna name them.
It's all right.
Yeah, you can. You can. Yeah, yeah,
You're
yeah.
not,
I would look-
you're not scaring off our advertisers.
Yeah, no.
Don't worry. You're not scaring
Yeah.
them off.
All right. So
What advertiser?
Yeah. Just so you know, we have made very lucrative brand deals with.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Amazing.
Anyway, you were saying?
So I was saying, like, it's very overwhelming. There's a lot of things going on, and most of it actually feels a little gradual, as in, like,
Yeah.
it's not all happening all at once, but the consequences tend to show up usually rather, in quick succession.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
And I found that to be pretty overwhelming. That's why I more or less kind of don't upload as much content as I used to.
Yeah.
Because it's kind of like, oh, I want to talk about this, but then there's this other thing that I want to talk about. But
Exactly.
then there's this other thing that I'm thinking about, and there's this other thing that I'm thinking about. So at
Mm.
that point, it's like what you said. Where do you even start, right?
Exactly.
But
Yeah.
wait,
I mean,
Dizzy. For those of the audience that maybe are not aware of
Yeah.
your social media presence, what is it that you do?
I just talk on the camera like I'm doing right now. I'm looking straight at the camera and I'm just talking.
You're a natural.
I yap, and all I do is just make quick jabs.
Mhm.
I guess some people would say I'm a political commentator, but I feel like that's a little self-aggrandizing.
yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
I may take some cues from like actual political commentators, like the great and mighty Hassan Piker.
Uh-huh.
Ah,
Yeah. Yeah.
I
I
love
don't
me some
really-
Hassan.
But I don't really see myself in the same vein as he is.
Uh-huh.
I see myself more as just some bored guy who goes, on camera and says a few jabs
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
at current events.
Yeah.
And like I said, I don't want to over-aggrandize myself, but if a lot of people keep saying, oh, you got like political takes and everything, I think like, Sure, why not?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like one of the things where you're like, you just want to rant for the sake of ranting in your
Mhm.
own style, and then for some reason people like it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People really connect to the stuff that you're saying, and
They do.
you come from like a really like the stuff that you say isn't you're not talking out of your ass either. You know?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
to be fair, you know.
It is
Yeah.
grounded in reality.
Yeah. I try to be grounded to reality. 'Cause
Uh-huh.
if not, then all you're gonna do is just go on social media and talk a whole bunch of fafifu,
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
right? And I don't want to be vice president.
No,
so
yeah,
I'm
of
not
course.
about that.
Of course. No. You don't wanna post on Klaskus. That's not like a thing that you do anyway, yeah?
Mm.
Nope.
Yeah,
No,
definitely
no.
not.
Yeah, I think as someone who's like, like sort of found you through like naturally through like the algorithm.
Yep.
I think it's just being like after like maybe the second or third video I saw of you, be like,
Mm.
okay, good. There's this like sort of consistently being like, oh, this guy doesn't punch down.
Yeah.
You're like, okay, sure, I'll give him a follow.
Mm.
Because there's a lot of people who be like, okay, that's a good political take. And then like
Yeah.
2 scrolls later, you see them again. They'll be like, I don't know what the fuck he's talking about. you know?
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
like, okay, like, yeah, it seems like you're very, very comfortable, like, talking about social issues, yeah, but you also, like, never really, like, punch down on people. Like, I see a lot of
Yeah.
people, I'm not going to name names, but maybe...
I can think of a couple.
Yeah, I can think of a
Yeah.
couple where it's kind of like, okay, cool, there's a base political takes, and then, like, 2, like, posts later, they're being like, yeah, but, like, poor people just don't get it, and I'd be like,
yeah. Which is like, yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
I think all 4 of us here and our producer and another individual who's off camera can think of at least 2 people who fit
Mm.
that exactly. And I think what I really respect about what you do is that you're very deft in your ability to punch up, and your
Yeah.
ability to and your ability to really, hit the nail right up the ass. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which
Nail
I
right up
think
the
is super
ass.
interesting, and which is it's a fairly underrated skill in my opinion.
Thank you. You are overselling me, my man, because like I said, all I do is just jab, right?
Yeah.
And I feel like what you said about punching down, right? I guess I gotta be cognizant and this is a tired old term, but like I have to recognize my privilege.
Yeah.
I have to see, that if I was to punch at anyone or any party,
Uh-huh.
it can't be someone that's less privileged than I am. It
Uh-huh.
can't be someone
Mm.
that would have real life, danger or perils
Yeah.
on them.
Mm.
And I feel like in Indonesia, that's too common.
Yeah.
And it's such a cheap tactic that I feel like if I was to do that, I'm cheapening myself. in the
Exactly.
Yeah.
process.
Yeah, I agree. There's like a lot of like if you see content creators nowadays, I think the biggest I think and I'm just gonna say this out loud. Mr. Producer, if I'm crossing any boundaries, please let me know, and then we can
Oh,
cut it out of the
Luca's not looking
conversation.
happy.
But one of the things that I've been really taken aback by is the amount of discussion regarding the sexuality of a certain person in government or several certain people in
Yeah.
government, and
Mhm.
that
Uh.
became sort of like the focal point of
Yeah.
criticism and just straight up like, what's the term?
A target, eh?
A target,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
And I think that really misses the entire point of
Yeah.
why criticism is needed in the first place. It's like you
Yeah.
try to like the entire reason for criticism or the entire point of criticism is to try to create or is to try to encourage better policy
Yeah.
Yeah.
making, right? And what that does instead is it's actually in many ways counterproductive.
Absolutely.
Even if we're just looking at it from like means justify the end,
Mhm.
or the ends justify the mean kind of perspective,
right.
or the means justify the end perspective. Like it is extremely counterproductive, let alone like
Absolutely.
all the ethical issues as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Because the thing is, what we're gonna get to, if all we're gonna attack is like their, alleged sexuality,
Yeah.
or their,
Not that it's any of our business either. Anyway,
exactly, it
Yeah.
ain't any of our business, and then you'll end up with like silly psyops like Mas Balil Ganteng.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I remember that just happened. And
Yeah.
thing is, it's very ineffective because one, you're not actually addressing the root issue.
You're
of,
really
like,
not.
why they're problematic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if anything, a lot of people just engage with the notion of like, oh, that identity is problematic. That's
Yeah.
messed up.
Yeah,
because, like,
exactly.
Yeah.
it's it's so silly for people to go and say like, oh my god, this politician might be into the same gender as they are, and therefore
Mm.
they're problematic, ignoring the billion of other straight
Yeah.
politicians out there
Yeah, there you
Yeah.
who
go.
are also problematic.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
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 So it's not a sexuality thing,
No, it
obviously,
really isn't.
right?
Yeah.
Like if you're half reasonable, you'd know that okay, that person's problematic not because they're of a sexuality that's not heterosexual,
Mhm, mhm.
because nobody has ever seen a heterosexual, problematic politician be like, oh, it's because he likes women.
Yeah.
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 No, unless we're talking about politicians who like women a little way too much and have like infidelity cases.
Uh-huh,
then
uh-huh.
Yeah.
That's,
fucking
that's,
different
It's-
that's
things.
the whole thing as well.
I don't know if it's just sort of like, I don't know, like a symptom of like our generation, being so like eyeballs deep in irony that we can't engage with anything anymore unless it's got like a layer of like ha ha he to it. But I feel like for a lot of people, I don't know. I just notice this a lot where it's kind of like a political cop out that they're like, I don't want to really engage with like the systems of power and the
Mm.
corruption that's been going on in our country for like 30 years.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna label them a bottom, and that's why I hate them.
Yeah.
And then come around Pride Month, it's like, oh my god, it's like, let's get rid of all bottoms in Indonesia, and I'm being like,
Man.
guys.
There's plenty of tops to go around. Don't be angry at the bottoms
Yeah.
for taking them away from you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Also, bottom is hard work. Okay, like like bottoming is hard work. Like
No.
like
Yeah, yeah.
I like some of y'all be slandering bottoms, being like, oh yeah, you're just gonna do this and gonna do that. Oh, what a silly thing to do. Especially if you're like like assigned male or like just like mask presenting and you're a bottom. That's sort of like a added layer of irony, being like, oh, look at him, he's a man, but he takes it up. He takes back shots. What an embarrassing to do. And being like, guys, are we going to ignore the people that were being rounded up and killed by the dozens like
Yeah.
only I don't know,
Yeah.
like less than 30 years ago?
Yeah.
And so I'm gonna be like, guys. So yeah.
But the thing is, the powers that be, without naming any names or naming any institutions, are extremely good at using identity politics to try to just
Absolutely.
sway the targets from the actual things that need to be addressed into just I'm not
Horizontal conflict.
horizontal conflict,
Yeah.
which is something that's been said a lot in like the, let's say, progressive social media sphere. You know what I mean?
I get
Yeah,
you.
yeah.
I
Yeah.
get you. And I feel like a big part of it is because, look, a lot of most Indonesians who went through the education system in Indonesia, I noticed that a lot of them are never really encouraged to question authority,
Yeah.
because even the way schools teach
Mhm.
children, it's very authoritative.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you say so?
Yeah.
And the thing is, like I said, like I don't want to I don't want to punch down and say like these people are all stupid. No,
Yeah.
I don't believe in the stupid smart dichotomy. I believe it's you're either curious
Yeah,
or
yeah.
uncurious.
Yeah.
Right? And unfortunately, the Indonesian public schooling system discourages curiosity.
Right.
I've heard so many stories of like kids, brilliant kids, who ask questions and then they kind of get like punched
They get
down.
sent to stand in the corner of the class.
They get,
Yeah,
they
yeah.
get
Yeah.
sent to stand in the corner. of
That
the
sounds
class.
really personal, Daniel.
Oh,
yeah, what happened, Dan?
No, because it's always two things, right? Either you're the authority figure in the room, which is usually the teachers, are being like,
Right.
Mm-hmm.
like go stand, like stop asking questions, go stand in the corner. Or, but
Mm.
sometimes it's also the opposite, where your peers are kind of like, I just want to go on recess. Why
Mm.
don't you shut the fuck up so I can like go to the canteen and buy
That's true.
So it's
Yeah.
kind of
Yeah.
like being like, guys, why? And so you're kind of being like, we don't want to be here. Although I do like really appreciate that, like, the dichotomy you have, like there's curious and then there's uncurious. And it's also true where like a lot of creators out there, not gonna name any names, really do like to call people in this country stupid.
Yeah.
A little too
Yeah.
comfortably, and then being like, and I understand the frustration, but guys, can we be real here that, like, they were failed by the country, basically.
They were
Exactly.
failed by
They were
a
failed by the-
system
yeah,
that
they were-
was.
exactly. Thank you.
Oh no, maybe the system wasn't necessarily a failure. Maybe it actually
It
got,
works as designed.
It works as designed,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
There you go. No,
I
yeah,
agree.
yeah, yeah.
Not
They
to
were
be
sent down a pipeline.
exactly,
Exactly.
yeah, not to be conspiratorial here,
you
but I don't think some of these people do really have the best of us in mind.
No, of course not. Because
Really?
That's wild. I
Because-
can't believe it, bro.
I know, right? Mashallah.
I know.
I was stunned as well, man.
Wow.
But I feel like back to the whole, stupid label.
Mhm.
I think it's fine if you're saying, oh, someone is stupid. This person is stupid.
Yeah.
I think it's fine as an expression,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I don't think you should use.
I am stupid.
Me too. I'm a goddamn idiot, man. You can
Yeah.
ask my wife over there. I'm stupid as hell.
Yeah.
But like the thing is, I don't think you should use stupid as any form of like serious factor, if you're actually analyzing social
Yeah.
phenomena.
100%.
That's true. Because
You know?
stupid isn't a
100%.
political position.
No, no, no,
Exactly.
no, no.
Stupid isn't a political position. Stupid isn't what do you call it? Isn't a product in politics, dude.
Yeah.
Stupid is a symptom of politics. If
There you
anything.
go.
Yeah.
Mm,
Yeah.
that was a bar, man.
That's a yeah. That's, a really
That's
good
going
one.
in the clips.
hey, it's almost like you should probably like be a rapper.
Yeah.
Can we not?
Bring it back.
Dear, oh
Yeah.
dear. No, don't you worry.
Yeah. Actually, before we go on to like whatever next point these two have got prepared, because I don't know what the talking points are.
Let's go.
How did you get your start in making
That was actually the
content?
point.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
thank
yeah,
you. Yeah.
perfect,
Oh,
yeah.
cool.
Oh,
What
no.
a happy coincidence. No, yeah, like how did you? Was it just like you were posting one day and then it blew up, or was it like a?
You always dream about yapping to the camera.
So
Yeah.
I've always kind of been an internet yapper, for lack of
Okay.
a better word, when it comes to social and political issues.
Mhm.
At one point, I was actually in a platform called What Is Up Indonesia.
What's up with that?
Oh, I was actually one of the writers, and I was
Damn, bro.
even the editor in chief at
Nice.
one point.
Oh, sorry.
Uh,
What year, if you're comfortable?
At What Is Up Indonesia? I
Yeah.
was there from like 2024. No, 2023. I was already a writer.
Okay,
2024 to 2025. That's when I was the editor in chief.
Uh-huh.
got it. So
Yeah.
you might have known Kim then, because he was a writer from
Yeah.
2021, 2023.
Do you recognize this man?
Do you recognize this man?
Yeah, no, I don't actually.
No, okay.
But like
Yeah.
I've always been a political and social issues yapper,
Mhm.
more or less. But then like after a while, doing all these like writing all these like
Yeah.
carousel posts and everything, just didn't really do it for me, and I kind of wanted something more cathartic,
Mm-hmm,
so to
Mhm.
speak.
Yeah.
Wait,
So
can you expand why did it not? What was lacking in
Yeah.
that process?
honestly, when it comes to like specifically What Is Up Indonesia, it's mostly because it's not my platform.
Uh-huh.
Mhm.
And I was made very aware that it's not my platform.
Sure.
So,
yeah, yeah.
I didn't
Editorial
have
guidelines.
editorial guidelines or even certain positions are
Yeah,
viewed
yeah,
as
yeah.
being a little
Things
too
like that.
radical, or no, they
Oh,
call it
really?
no, not radical. They call it scary. So
Right.
I don't want to be too scary, right?
Mhm.
You're saying they played it a bit too safe.
In my opinion, a little too safe, and also in my opinion, there was a bit of what you call ideological differences.
Sure.
Mm.
Yeah,
Fascinating.
and I think I wanted to do something that's just for me, and I want to have fun with it. So
Yeah.
I started talking on camera and everything. My first viral reel was actually me denouncing internalized colonialism.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
So
Okay.
it was just me, like it was during that trend where people were like, they had like their camera pointed towards them, but then they face away and they say something. It's like, what? Who said
Oh,
that?
yeah.
Yeah.
I remember those
Yeah.
trends.
Oh,
Yeah.
what? Who
Yeah.
said that?
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
Okay,
And
okay.
I said something along the lines of like Indonesians tend to pay too much attention and give too many credits for like white people doing content in
Mhm.
Indonesia because we have internalized colonialism.
No, it's true. It's
and
yeah.
we
true.
put white people on a pedestal. So
Mm.
Yeah.
you have people like me and Satya here who've been grinding, making like especially Satya. Satya's content is like cream,
He's
like
grinding,
great
bro.
editing, great production and everything. But you will never. I'm sorry, Satya. Let's face it. Okay, you and me, we will never go as viral as Bule Makan Ayam Geprek.
Oh no, it's absolutely true. Yeah,
Bro.
Yeah. There's something
What
about
about
like
bule ngomong bahasa Jawa, bro?
exactly.
Oh,
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Dude, ich kann durchsprechen, aber I can never be as viral in a German setting, in German
you go.
social
Yeah.
media.
Yeah.
Because, who the hell cares? It's just
Yeah.
another brown kid who speaks our language, yeah.
Yeah.
Which is kind of
Like that. I'm not trying to see any of them.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Exactly. They don't want to see us.
They want
No.
to see you out. Speak less of this language, actually.
So yeah.
Mhm.
Alternatively, I've actually just recently uncovered your close ties to Alternative for Deutschland. So I'd like to.
AfD, bro. AfD.
AfD?
AfD.
Yeah. You need
That's
to
so
explain
funny
that.
because actually I do have a friend from university who like regularly reposts like AfD posts.
Are you serious?
Friend of a friend.
God.
You know who I'm talking about.
Oh, him?
Yeah, so a friend of that person.
I'm not surprised.
Yeah, who we used to be sort of in a like media project cahoots with, but like
Ooh.
yeah. And then and then I didn't talk to him for like 3 years, and then started.
If only we
reposting.
saw the signs, bro.
If
Yeah.
only we saw the signs.
If only
honestly.
that
Honestly, I did
art
see
of
the
the deal
signs.
book that he keeps bringing along was a sign that we could have seen.
Yeah, if only the fucking art of the deal, which sits very very neatly on his fucking order. And no, anyways, no, yeah, and at some point it was just like because TikTok does that thing where if you have someone in your contacts, they try to suggest it to you.
Oh, yeah.
Because I was like, I'm just
yeah.
watching random fucking like edits of like because that's what I do on like TikTok. I love edits on TikTok.
And then you see Groiper shit.
Yeah.
No, exactly. To be like, I'm like, oh yeah, let's like my arcane edit, my like like my queer leftist person take from like
Mhm.
like Portland or somewhere, and then suddenly to be like, why is there an AfD post? Why is there? Why,
Yeah.
why the fuck is there like fucking
Is there
Deus,
like a-
Deus Volt on my?
It's a fucking
You know what I'm
pipeline,
talking
dude.
about. Thank you.
It's a weird pipeline, isn't it? Like
Yeah.
It is. No, it is.
like I remember in 2020, I nearly fell into that kind of thing where I was watching a bunch of Little Dark Age edits, and
Oh, no. What?
Little Dark
Little
Age,
Dark Age,
MGMT.
MGMT.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A song about
right,
a person who is closeted
Yeah.
and wants to break out of their little dark cage.
Right.
Isn't that song also about like police violence? Isn't there like right?
I
Thank
think
you.
there's an aspect of that. Yeah.
yeah, it's being like beat up by
Like
the cops.
policemen
Literally.
swear to guns.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
But they love just putting it for their like trad cath weird shit,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess this is my hot take. I know I said, stupid shouldn't be a valid,
Mhm.
point of critique.
Uh-huh.
But I feel
Let's hear
like
it.
but I feel like ignorance there. I didn't say
Yeah.
stupid, okay?
Mm.
Ignorance, willful ignorance
Yeah.
that gets you into this pipeline of, I don't want to say conservatism, I say regressivism.
Mm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You have to be illiterate, bro. You have
Yeah.
to be a level of illiterate. You have to like not be able to comprehend media as
Mhm.
well
Yeah.
as like most other people who aren't like that.
Yeah.
Because like
yeah.
people using MGMT,
Dude.
My Little Dark Age,
Or like Rage Against the Machine.
Yeah.
Rage Against
Rage
the
Against
Machine,
the
and it's a bunch
Machine.
of Trump supporters.
People are putting up
Unbelievable.
those
I
lyrics
will have to
in
push
front of them.
push back on that.
What's
What do
up?
you mean?
Yeah, no, because like, okay, I will accept there's a large amount of people that are probably going to be like, yeah, I don't know, like, yeah, dumb, like they
Right.
don't listen to music. But I think there are certainly people who knowingly,
Co-op.
co-opt.
Co-op.
Ah,
that's
Because-
interesting.
because
That's a
they're
really good
like,
point.
okay, it's trending and it probably has origins, like whatever. I'll just like put as many like imagery and
Mhm.
edit because
Right.
it's like
Mm.
because I think and because here's the thing, right? As someone who again taking a page from you, I don't want to be self-aggrandizing either,
Mhm.
but as someone who has gone viral
Ooh.
online for making political content and like like being fairly successful at it, people just like things for the vibe,
Yeah.
That's true.
and you have the right song and you have the right imagery, people will like it for anything.
Yeah.
Because sometimes they
that's
just
true.
want to like, oh, this is cool. Because and there's
Yeah.
I guess there's something to be said about like the language of media is because like sometimes it'd be like
Yeah.
because I find myself sometimes be like, oh yeah, this is cool because there's a usually like a cool like
Aesthetic.
fucking like like
Yeah.
a drift funk song and the colors are really good and like
Mm.
the characters really looking really sexy and I'm being like, oh wait, that's a fascist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I get
Unfortunately,
what you
that's
mean,
cool.
man.
Yeah,
I
and there's
get
like
what you
I
mean.
guess it's like our generation is really primed to go on vibes first, or
Yeah.
maybe it's not just our generation because it could be
It's
like
always
any other-
been this way. I feel.
yeah, right.
Yeah.
Where it's
I
like
feel it's always
vibes
been
first,
this
and
way.
then like the like the lizard brain likes double taps it and likes it,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and then the little person's be like, hey. like what are they actually saying?
Yeah. Actually, that brings me to a really interesting question that I
So-
think about a lot too with my own work.
Yeah.
In that, I use a lot of like satire and irony, and I know you do too.
Yep.
And one of my personal biggest concerns about using that as a medium to express my thoughts and my opinions is that there's gonna be somebody out there that's like taking this too
Misconstruing,
literally.
yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So in my previous video, I said, or in my last video for Tech in Asia, I said something along the lines of, to find out more, I decided to talk to one of the most trustworthy sources or one of the most trustworthy institutions I
saw
know,
this, yeah.
and I said the
The
government.
government, yeah.
You know,
Mm.
and then when I wrote that, I thought to myself, like, are people gonna actually think that I find them trustworthy? You know what I mean?
I get
and I
you.
wonder if you have that same concern. Like, does that ever like keep you up in the middle of the night?
Honestly,
Yeah.
initially when I first started like posting, video content,
Sure.
there were some like instances where that happened. Like people misconstrued like what I was
Yeah.
trying to get at, and they didn't really understand that I was being sarcastic or
Yeah.
being hyperbolic about things.
Mhm.
And then after a while, I just thought to myself, you know what? Whatever, man. Like,
Yeah.
at the end of
Fair
the day,
enough.
if they want to misconstrue, that's the beautiful thing about the algorithm.
Yeah,
These
yeah,
people
yeah.
might misconstrue it, but they might like my video,
Uh-huh.
which means down the line they might see my other video. So maybe it might clarify that, like, actually, this
yeah.
guy is not a grifter,
Yeah,
not
yeah.
a grifter. And the thing is, the beauty of that, in my opinion, there's a beauty in that, is I am encouraging people to inadvertently start thinking.
Yeah, that's true. That's a really good point.
And I
yeah.
want to do that. I want to
Yeah.
be able to get people to think. I'm not, I'm not gonna sit in front of a camera and tell people how to think. What kind of self-important prick do you take me for, man? Teaching people how to think.
Teaching people how to think through
Ridiculous.
20-minute videos in very interesting settings.
Setting. Yeah, maybe
Yeah,
you
yeah.
should darken this room. No?
Yeah, definitely a little bit. Definitely a little bit.
Yeah, stop shaving your face, bro.
I won't.
I'm gonna,
I'm gonna grow it out.
put some glass. I'm gonna put some glasses on.
Absolutely.
I'm gonna grow it up. And I'll tell you exactly
These are
what to think.
dark glasses, but yeah.
That wasn't a subtweet. Don't worry.
no.
Because that's not a tweet.
There's nobody there at all.
Yeah, no.
No, we're not targeting anyone.
But like speaking about your type of content, I got addressed the elephant in the room, which is that you do your content mostly in English.
Yeah.
And have you you've experimented to a
Yeah.
perhaps worrying
Oh.
to perhaps a worrying result that when you tried to experiment using Indonesian subtitles, it
Oh.
did not actually produce a favorable result. But I want to ask you about that because I know like that came from you trying to like maybe allow the content to spread to more people and help more people
Yeah.
understand it.
Yeah.
But like, do you feel like having your content in English? First of all, like, what started that? Like, why was this a conscious decision,
Mhm.
or was just like this is just how you feel like you want to do things,
Mhm.
or and then like, knowing that you make your content in English, do you feel like it encapsulates itself in too much of a bubble that
Ah.
you're afraid that it can't really expand beyond people who maybe already like think the way you do?
Honestly, when it comes to like me making content, again, for the most part, I'm doing it for fun.
Uh-huh.
Right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
There's no really, I'm not I'm not trying to get recruited to like
Yeah.
a Timses or anything, right? I just want to do this for fun. And the thing is, why English? Is because I think in English. That's just my OS, so to speak. If I was a
That's
phone,
what we've been
my-
trying to tell people.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like call me Antek Asing or whatever, but
Yeah.
because I grew up abroad and
Yeah.
I use English day to day, to interact with like most of my friends, my family, and it just leaks into, me speaking English for my content. But like when I do sometimes use like Indonesian subtitles,
Mm.
it's for content that I do want to try and like spread out more.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And with regards to that specific content that
Mhm.
you're referencing, the
Uh-huh.
KDM content.
The cows?
The cows. Yeah, the cows.
Yeah.
The one about the cows. The one about John Marston from
Yeah.
Red Dead Redemption.
Mm.
Yeah. So that content, I'm not gonna lie, I was actually fishing.
Right.
Mm.
I was actually fishing. I
Wow.
kind of wanted to see, if I was to openly criticize this
Yeah.
man who is absolutely beloved, like by his diehard fans.
Yeah,
which
yeah.
There's a lot of his diehard fans. Right?
I
Apparently.
can imagine.
No, there are
Yeah,
a lot.
yeah.
There's a lot of them. Like
Oh, yeah.
you drive in my town. You
Yeah.
go around drive for like a whole hour.
Yeah.
I guarantee you will see at least one car with a sticker of his face in the back.
Yeah.
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 You know, and I want to see like, okay, how bad is it? How bad and unreasonable? Because the way I try to structure my criticism is, I was referencing to something that's very contemporary
Uh-huh.
and very much something one can visualize. Like, how are you gonna cut down all the trees? Things
Yeah,
like that.
yeah.
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 Silly and hyperbolic, of course, but I kind of want to see like what fish am I gonna hook on?
Yeah.
And turns out I didn't hook a fish, my guy. A goddamn sperm whale
Yeah,
jumped onto
whale.
my
You
boat.
really did. You really did. You really did.
And I got mass reported. I
Uh-huh.
got mass reported.
You
so
got
my
banned
account,
for a while?
yeah, my account got
Suspended.
suspended for
Yeah.
like 2
Ah.
days, man. And
It's
I
wild.
was like,
No.
wait, what?
And
I
this
like
was
how-
this was the was this the first time that you experimented with this kind of like bait and trying to like
No, actually, before I have before that,
Mhm.
actually, I have made a reel where I speak in Indonesian fully.
Yeah.
I did,
how'd that go?
but it was about the Epstein files, and it was
Ah.
about how Epstein actually had a lot of connections in Bali.
Yeah,
Bali,
yeah, yeah.
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 I saw that one.
That one really eager hotel manager.
Mhm.
You know the one I'm talking about?
Yeah, I know,
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
But that
Mm.
one didn't get as much of a visceral reaction as the KDM one did. The cows.
No, not at all. Because the thing is, for that one, I was also collaborating with like independent like media from Bali,
Uh-huh.
and they also said like, oh, that's an interesting like topic, but like we try not to be overtly too political in our platform, so I hope
Ah.
we can tone
Yeah.
it down. But I did think like this is a pretty important issue and
Yeah.
can kind of start up conversations about how
Yeah.
this sort of sordid underground thing in
Mhm.
Bali still does happen to
Yeah.
this day,
Mhm.
right?
It's not exactly underground either in some
No,
parts.
that's
Let's be
true.
honest.
We're
Yeah.
kind of world famous for it, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. That's
Southeast
true.
Asia.
Yeah.
Southeast Asia does attract a certain type of white person.
Yeah.
That's
let's
true.
let's just keep it at that.
White man
Yeah.
specifically.
Yeah.
Yeah,
white
that's,
Yeah.
that's true. That's true. And the thing is, like, it didn't garner like a hostile, reaction because
Yeah, true.
how are you gonna be hostile about someone who's like talking bad about Epstein, man?
Yeah.
There's no way you're gonna
That's
look
true.
good.
Hey, actually.
Epstein did nothing wrong.
Oh, okay, Drake. Okay, P.
Oh my
Diddy.
god.
Yo,
Can I know?
Can
yeah.
someone please cut that out of the edit?
Someone's gonna clip
I think I'm gonna. I think I'm gonna.
unnecessary.
I am
dig
gonna.
at Drake,
I've
though.
just fucked myself over. To be honest.
Cut just the Drake part.
gonna.
Yeah.
ILW.
No.
Oh
It's like
dear. Oh, dear.
ILW host actually PDF file.
Hey.
You got so
Can I
many
know
clicks.
what the
Just to clarify, I don't fuck with Epstein. All right, guys. Just to clarify.
I think we know. I think the audience knows.
Okay, good.
You'd be
Good,
surprised.
good.
What did you get mass reported for? Do you know? Like, does Instagram tell you that like what you got mass reported
Yeah.
for?
No, it wasn't even Instagram that told me,
Oh.
actually. So I contacted friends at SafeNet, right? Who
Oh.
kind of tried to lobby to like their connection in Meta
Uh-huh.
in Southeast Asia.
Yeah.
And they said there's an indication that my account, specifically my account, not my content, my
Mhm.
account was being mass reported.
Right.
Yeah.
They didn't say what the reason was,
Mhm.
but it was indicated that over a specific period of about 72 hours,
Yeah.
there were a lot of like
That's very dedicated, by the way.
I know it was
Yeah.
coordinated. So like
That's,
Yeah,
that's
there
a
was
good
a lot
point,
of
yeah.
like there was an indication that a lot of these reports that 72-hour period just came and they all reported my account, not the
Mm.
specific content.
Mm.
Yeah.
And because Meta does what Meta does, it just took down my account. And
Yeah.
it did allow me to appeal, which I did. But in addition to me appealing, like on the app itself, I also contacted some friends and try to see like what's going on. But of course, like I don't want to blame like the Meta person who was like who was
Yeah.
being contacted. They probably can't say the full
Yeah.
the full extent of what I was actually reported for. But
Mhm.
yeah, that happened.
Yeah.
Basically you're just getting a lot of like traffic or like flagged,
Yeah.
and that made
Yeah.
the people at Meta scared.
Basically, yeah.
Okay.
You know what's really fucking crazy? Like the fact that we can just, I mean, bots have been online bots have been a thing for a while now,
Yeah.
and it's
Yeah.
not really difficult to have a bunch of accounts either on a single device
Yep.
or on multiple devices, and just coordinate them to mass report a single account.
Yeah.
But at
Yeah.
the same time, think of how much resources that takes. Like, think of
Yeah.
how much wasted money that is. That's just absolutely insane in my head.
I mean, if you're talking about, I mean, like, considering the amount of money they produce from, like, whether
mean they
it's
steal?
like, yeah,
That's true,
I
yeah.
don't know what business
That's a really
you're
good
in,
point.
but you're probably in a lot of, like, you probably have
Yeah.
your fingers in a lot of pies, whether
Extractive.
it's palm oil
Yeah.
or sugar.
Imagine
or
all the
whatever
money
fuck.
that could have gone to Mbiggy with that.
Yeah. How many days worth of MBK?
They could probably get 3 whole days. Bro.
I know.
Oh my
Three
That's
god.
insane.
3 whole days of
That's wild.
Mbiggy.
No.
Imagine the amount of insects that could have been consumed by those children.
And I love how the top comment on that video is the only mistake of this video is that it was given a subtitle.
Yeah, and
And
you
what?
addressed that
They're
too.
probably
I
right.
did.
Has,
You did.
but like, has that experience kind of like changed how you approach these types of content? Like because like I understand it's kind of scary to actually want to put yourself out there and be so vocal and be critical, um, in a language that's very accessible to a majority of the populace who might not like what you have to say.
yeah.
It
Mhm.
seems like using English as a language is like a little safety bubble
It
for
is.
a lot of us Indonesian political
Commentators.
adjacent content
Yeah.
creator
I
commentator
agree.
types.
Yeah.
But how do you
Yeah.
feel about that?
Honestly, ever since that happened, it did make me rethink. You know what? Next time, if I want to be pointed towards a public figure that
Mhm.
has like a rabid following, maybe I won't be using Indonesian subtitles again.
Mhm.
I've learned my lesson from there.
Yeah.
But I will, quote unquote, tactically use like Indonesian subtitles if I do want to
Mm.
like bring up an issue
Yeah.
that I feel all Indonesians should know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know.
Okay. Fair.
But in terms of like regular content, that's definitely not gonna be in my you know
Yeah.
it's not
Yeah,
gonna
bro's
be-
playing 4D chess with subtitles right now.
Mhm.
because you got it, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
honestly,
you really
yeah.
do.
Because it
Gotta
does
game
open a
it.
floodgate.
Yeah, there you go.
I think what I find interesting as well is that like if it's for a specific individual
Mhm.
or if you're talking about a specific individual, more likely than not, you are going to be attacked by defenders of those individuals.
Mhm.
And it really like it's something that I've really wondered for a long time about why we as a society are so reliant or so dependent and are so craving of like an individual character who claims they can solve all of our problems so that we can once again become a nation. What's the lyric of that song? Indonesia. Source of jealousy from other nations or whatever. I forgot the specific.
Because I
Like,
feel
like-
like it's a big part of it is actually how our culture has shaped us. We've always been taught, not just Indonesian culture. I feel like as a general,
Yeah.
in society, in human society, right?
Heroes in general, things like
Heroes,
Mm.
yeah, like heroism and like the pedestalization of certain powerful figures has always been there.
Yeah.
Like, for example, you guys can probably, I don't know, maybe if you're history nerds, right? But like, if you can probably name like at least one pharaoh, right? There's like pharaohs,
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
just Ngutang Khamun. I'm talking about actual Egyptian pharaohs.
Yeah.
that. Mhm.
But like the thing is, you don't know who are the actual architects of like the pyramid.
Right.
Who
Yeah.
actually
Yeah.
built the pyramids? Who's like the line manager for like this part of the
Who's
Sphinx?
behind
Who the
Yeah.
hell's the you don't know that.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
and it's the
Yeah.
same thing
Who
to
built
this
the
day.
bricks?
Who built the bricks? And
Mhm.
it's the same thing to this day. Like everyone's always talking about like, Sukarno being like the father of the nation
Yeah.
and like the people who went to Budi Utomo being like, important people and everything. But
Yeah.
again, you fail to like highlight that it's kind of they're just figureheads, but there are actual, group efforts
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
to like basically, spearhead the movement that these people are figureheads of.
Yeah.
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 And in Indonesia, I feel like that craving for a figurehead is especially unique because in Indonesia, we are thought to be like a very, collective society.
Mm-hmm.
On one hand, we're a collective society. We seek to, try and fall in line, so to speak, right?
Yeah.
And again, because of the education system, we're taught to like not only follow fall in line, but also follow a specific marching rhythm.
Right.
Yeah.
That's why you have OSPEC and all these things.
Yeah.
And then if you're in this in group, this
Uh-huh.
in group happens to say pedestalize a certain figure to be a hero for them.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna be likely that you're gonna fall into groupthink.
Right.
And when
Yeah.
you fall into groupthink with like this in group, then this craving of like a savior figure, Lisan Al Gaib,
yeah.
whoever,
Yeah,
Lisan Al
it tends
Gaib.
to it tends to lend itself
Yeah.
to like a more emotional place. You become unobjective.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, that's why that's always gonna happen. There's always gonna be a figure that steps up or is lifted up, and
Oh.
everybody sees that
Yeah.
figure as like they're the definition of some ideology. Like, oh
Mhm.
man, they made a quote unquote ism called Yokoism.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They did.
The fuck is that even?
But there's a certain level, but there's a certain discourse that's been happening around in social media recently,
Mhm.
whereby some people, I won't name any names, and I think
A lot
to
of names not being named
yeah,
in
and,
this
and
episode.
I think to some extent, like they
You
kind
don't want
of
to go to jail.
they kind of have a point in that the kind of movement that we see now in the streets or that we see on social media, let's call it the progressive movement for now, because I can't, for lack of a better term,
Okay.
is lacking a figurehead to lead the direction of that movement. What do you say to that?
Honestly, in terms of like the progressive movements, in terms of like these, progressive or people seeking justice or whatever, honestly, their problem is not just that they don't have a leading figure.
Yeah.
Even if there is a leading figure, that will create its own problem. Because
Right,
the
of course.
problem is with these like movements, a lot of the time is, and I'm so sorry, I might get canceled for this, but they lack discipline, bro.
Right.
No,
That's
yeah,
why-
I agree with you actually. Yeah.
Like since okay, let's try to even count how many protests have happened in like from 2024 to now alone.
Right.
There's
Yeah.
so many waves of protests.
Yeah.
Am I right? Thousands of people have gone to the streets, right? And there's been like how many hashtags at this point? Like Darurat, Bangkrut now,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
everything.
Yeah.
But the thing is, I feel like in a post-Reformation Indonesia, a lot of these direct action, they call that aksi kan, like it's
Mhm.
direct action,
Yeah.
is not transformative in nature. It's just cathartic. It's just
Yeah.
people wanting
Yeah.
to
Yeah,
take
it
out
is,
their
yeah.
frustration. And I'm not saying that's wrong. Not saying that's wrong. I'm not saying that's a bad thing necessarily. It
yeah.
is a democratic right for us to be doing these things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But at the same time, there's no switch up in tactic. And you keep
Yeah.
repeating the same tactics.
That's true.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think it's also ironic that they use the term direct action, knowing that direct action used to mean a very different thing. just like
Absolutely.
50 years ago.
Yeah.
It's like you know that I don't know if it's a Tumblr post or a Twitter post to be like, yeah, some motherfuckers out here be saying, like, let's go firebomb a Walmart and not firebomb a Walmart.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I feel like, direct action used to be like, oh yeah, let's actually like, hit very, very strategic things.
Yeah.
And now it's kind of like ironically aksi, whenever people say aksi, it just usually just means
Wait,
Yeah.
so you're saying direct action doesn't mean marching down the street and posting hashtags, bro?
no, direct action used to be like
Strikes.
I thought I was.
Yeah,
I thought I was
strikes,
in
no,
the
no,
fix.
okay. Strikes I think used to just be called strikes. No, direct action used to be like find an excavator and then pour sand into the gas.
Yeah.
That's a really
Find trees and spike them.
And there
Find
are
a certain maybe a figure that is
Yeah.
of great standing, like preferably law enforcement, and perhaps maybe
redact
Okay,
this,
wait,
redact
hold on.
this.
Okay.
By the way,
So,
do
just
put a little
a,
Charlie
ju-
Kirk.
just a quick FYI. Strikes are included as direct
As direct action? Okay, sorry.
Yeah.
in the
I do not
category
know
direct
law, my
action.
apologies.
Okay,
I,
well,
I think I want to interject about that,
Yeah.
Right.
which is like, I think like most of us, or at least people who are who know ball, I guess I don't know, but like
no ball.
people who understand that the problems in this nation is systemic and not one change in leadership is going to like fix the problems that are ingrained into it, which is why I think we can all agree that Reformasi didn't do enough, or like Reformasi
Got
didn't
co-opted.
truly reform
Uh-huh.
because it didn't root out all the rot that was inside.
Yeah.
But like it's also, I don't want to be the guy who's like, you know what, violent revolution is the only way out. And then I'm not doing jack shit. You know, I'm
Yeah.
behind my computer, like, guys, we gotta firebomb a Walmart. And
Yeah.
I'm like, but
Yeah.
you guys do it though.
It
You
does-
guys do it.
it-
I'm gonna sit here.
it
I'm gonna
doesn't
wait
work like that.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
wait until someone does that.
Yeah.
And then I'm gonna cheer you on, but I'm not gonna personally do that because I don't want to go to jail.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
Absolutely.
how does one even approach
Yeah.
that? You know what I mean?
Okay, here's the thing, right? I've actually took part in like some of these protests,
Uh-huh.
even the ones that have gone violent, like
Mhm.
in the last 2-3 years. I
Yeah.
have actually, and there's a lot of like, there's a lot of work to be done there.
Yes.
As in, like, I actually helped with like aid giving. I was
Right.
like walking around with like a first aid box and things like that.
Oh yeah,
making
thank you.
sure-
Yeah, that actually means a
making
lot.
sure, but like that's the thing, the way I see it, right, it's still very cathartic in nature.
Mhm.
It's still very, for lack of a better word, uncoordinated. It feels very uncoordinated. And like I said initially, when we were getting into this point, a lot of it boils down to poor discipline.
Yeah.
Because here's the
Oh,
thing,
yeah,
when
yeah.
it comes to like direct action, you wanna you wanna block off a bridge, you wanna
Yeah.
block off you wanna encamp yourself in like an institution or something. That takes discipline.
It does.
But
Yeah.
the thing is, how are you gonna be doing all
Mm.
that and have any discipline to actually, for lack of a better word, a lot of these like uh people who are very in progressive circles,
Yeah.
they'll be saying things like take down the regime, right? How are you gonna take down the regime when you can't even wake
Yeah.
up before 9 a.m., bro?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that happens. I've encountered that personally. Like
yeah.
a lot of like these like quote unquote grassroots movements and things like
Yeah.
that. They
Mhm.
they be having an event and they said the event starts at 3, but I'll be there at like 3:30. Nobody shows.
Oh no,
Yeah.
for real?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
yeah.
happens all the time, and it's
Yeah.
like an unspoken understanding among a lot of like grassroots communities that
Yeah.
their
That's
events will
normal.
always be late. Yeah.
Look
Yeah.
at my
Yeah.
leftist dog. I'm never getting a revolution. Look at my
Yeah.
leftist dog.
See, the interesting
Yeah.
thing is like I know, like I've been to some of the, I don't know which one specifically you were at, but I've been to some of the protests
Mm-hmm.
that you're talking about. Mainly about like mainly I was at the one in I was mainly the one in like 2021, I believe, the one in September.
Mhm.
Oh, sorry, was it 2020? Yeah, the omnibus one. I
Oh,
believe.
okay.
Yeah, and there was a lot of people who are like, I feel like, will say that thing, or be like, the exact same people who lack discipline are also the same people who are like, yelling, telling people that they should be disciplined. To be fair,
Yeah.
because there was a lot of people. I'm just gonna say it. Ada banyak abang-abang kiri
Yeah. Yeah.
who are going to be like, guys, kita tuh harus kayak gini, harus tegas, and then they were saying that to like a lot of like the like usually like women,
Younger ones, right?
Yeah, younger basically people who have very legitimate reasons to be exhausted, to be disadvantaged, or like people who are disabled, who have genuine concerns about like safety, exhaustion, and like a lot of these abang-abang kiri, enggak guys, kita tuh harus disiplin, kayak harus guys, kita gak akan menggerak negara kalau kita nggak keras, gak gitu, and I'll be like, shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I feel like there is like a lot of like very very mixed messaging and about
Do you
like,
know what it is?
yeah,
Do you know what it is?
it's just
Toxic
like
masculinity.
it is
Because a lot
it
of
is.
these like
Yeah.
abang-abang kiri, or even like not even the abang-abang, even the newer students, the younger ones,
Mhm.
they go to protest because they want to feel like heroes.
Right.
Oh no, yeah, 100%.
That's really
They want
I think it's a
heroism.
rite of passage, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
a
Yeah,
lot of
there you
times
go,
it's
yeah.
a right.
They
of
saw
passage.
those hard ass pictures from '98 and they're like, I want to be that guy.
Exactly.
I want to hold the flag up and
Yeah.
yell like really.
Exactly.
Like, shut the
dude.
fuck up, bro. You're not Malcolm X.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bro thinks he's on the team.
Yeah, bro, he thinks on the team. Yeah, I get like the amount of the amount of people who will be like, yeah, bro, quoting Malcolm X and shit like that, and come to a protest without a fucking first aid kit. God.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like people who still come to protest thinking that toothpaste will help with tear gas.
Oh my
Go
god.
the fuck home.
Like here's the thing. Another. Okay, look. I think we can all agree. All
Yeah.
four of us sitting here, we come from a place of socioeconomic privilege.
100%.
Right?
Yeah.
Especially compared to most Indonesians.
Sorry, folks.
Cringe for
Dizzy,
saying the front lines.
Dizzy had to move
Yeah.
his car out of the way, but we're good now.
Oh yeah.
Going back to the conversation that we're having about performativeness.
About
Yeah.
discipline and being performative. Like I
Yeah.
said, a lot
Yeah.
of these kids, They go out in the street, they protest, they want to be heroes, right?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
going to the streets itself is not a bad thing, but
Yeah.
like not having a direction, because a lot of times I feel like they go out in the streets and they know what they don't want,
Yeah.
but they don't
Yeah.
know what they want.
Yeah.
And because of that, it kind of throws off like the movement's entire momentum a lot of times,
Yeah,
because
yeah.
there's so many requests, there's so many this, there's so many that. That's
Yeah.
why, look, I have 1,001 criticisms
Uh-huh.
about 17+8.
Yeah.
I think
Uh-huh.
you know that.
Yeah.
I have criticisms about that, but you need to be able to come to the to the realization why that little movement or whatever it was so successful is because it made demands that were so many demands
Right.
and so many grievances. It crystallized all those grievances into something that's digestible, something
Yeah,
that's
yeah, yeah.
accessible.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And admittedly, you also have to admit there was like you said about vibes, there was an aesthetic to it.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, yeah.
And green.
Yeah, there was an aesthetic because look, man, the average people who go, who go on Instagram, the average person who has an Instagram,
Mm.
90% of the time, like most people, they open Instagram and they hope to or want to look at something that's entertaining to them,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? They
Mhm.
don't go to Instagram to like, hey, I'm gonna open Instagram so I can read like a 15-page carousel essay about
Mhm.
why Mbege is bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm pretty sure there are people who are like that.
For sure.
But they're not in the majority. They're very
No.
niche, and I feel like a lot of these movements, a lot of these organizations, a lot of these like, communities, coalitions, whatever, should come to that realization that like, most people go at Instagram to look at cat videos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I go on Instagram and I hope that I would see,
Puppies.
puppies. Yeah,
Yeah.
I hope to see
Yeah.
puppies.
Yeah.
I hope
Golden
to see
retriever puppies.
Yeah, I hope
Yeah,
to see
where-
like sketches.
Where'd all the cat videos and puppies go, man? I'm just seeing straight depression in my shit, bro.
I swear to God.
Like,
I swear to
Exactly.
God.
Hopeless
Yeah.
score.
Exactly, and that's the thing, right? What we talk about, like with discipline and everything, because like I said, they don't have a clear direction as to what they want.
Yeah.
They just
Yeah.
know what they don't want.
It is reactionary,
It's
isn't it?
very
and in many
reactionary.
ways, that makes it quite directionless.
Directionless.
And
yeah.
as a result, there's very little chance of a follow through, if that makes any sense.
Absolutely.
Although, with that being said, I feel like one of the, I there were a lot of things, like you said, about 17+8 that I felt like wasn't effective enough, but chief among which was the lack of a follow through as well, in my opinion, on how those demands
Would be reinforced.
would be reinforced.
Mhm.
Exactly.
I'm curious what you think a follow through would look like.
Yeah,
or should
yeah.
look like.
because it's like I think you hit the nail on the head. 17+8 did do some stuff right. Like
Mhm.
like it was a kind of a step in the right direction. It seems more coordinated and clear. But like the follow through, like they're demanding stuff and then the government's like, I might do some of this, I might not.
Yeah.
And then like what happens if they don't? They're just like, because from what I've seen, like the government failed to meet most of the demands, and then we're just like, yeah, okay, man.
Yeah.
You do you, I guess.
See, yeah.
Mhm.
See, my take is on that 17.8 was more successful, not really because there was a solid demand or a follow through. I think there was just like, my take for why 17.8 was more successful, I think was simply because of like we're in a recession right now, and the need for catharsis is higher than the need for like stable order, right?
Mhm.
Because because I will not. I mean, I won't diss the 17.8 organizers for not
Yeah.
really having a political direction. I think it's more just that like more young people are in need of an outlet because most of them have not. Let's be honest, most of us, if not physically, mentally, have not recovered from the pandemic yet, and this
Right.
is kind of a result of that.
Yeah.
But two, I think it was just sort of like there was a higher sense of like, what's the word I'm looking for? Just like just less respect for what's going
Yeah.
on, and that's
Yeah.
mainly why. Because it used to be like, I remember all the movements in the 2010s was kind of being like, hey, let's have some decorum around here, and like our
Yeah.
generation no longer has that kind of being like, the type of like chromo required to be in the political machine, where it's kind of
Yeah.
like, be respectful, like do your do your dues, and you will get like our generation right now doesn't have that kind of like
Right.
respect for authority that that like maybe I grew up with, or like Gen Xers grew up with, or like older millennials grew up with, and that was kind of why it's more successful, because people are more indignant. I think that's the word I'm looking
I
for.
get
Right?
you.
Yeah,
Yeah,
people
yeah.
people are like out here making fun of like Prabowo, like just like straight up, when like this, I don't see this ever happening like just 8 years ago in the last election, for example, right? And that's why it's more successful. I don't know if like so I'm kind of being like, are people actually, did people actually buy into like 78 as being like something that was
Gonna
feasible?
happen.
Yeah, like
Look, there was a lot of hope. That's
Yeah.
one of the
Yeah.
things, right? One of the things that also made it successful, because it actually raised hopes, because you have a bunch of like pretty Instagrammable people
Yeah.
who are like reposting this template or whatever.
Yeah,
So a lot of
yeah.
people are saying like, "Oh my god, if those guys with privilege can
Mm.
speak up and say all this, I can too." And there's a lot of hope, right?
Yeah,
But
yeah.
the follow through, which Arya was right, there was no follow through. That was where it lacked the most.
Mm-hmm.
What a follow through would look like, but don't take my word for it, because I'm not a political organizer. But I feel like the biggest mistake there was the fact that I guess they didn't really, follow. They couldn't really follow through, because they didn't know how they would even pressure the government in real time
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
to
yeah.
actually have a follow through. And that's where you see, that's where I say discipline is needed again,
Mm-hmm.
when it comes to like a lot of these grassroots communities, a lot of these civil coalitions that are like,
Mhm.
going out in the field and like
Yeah.
trying to prevent like land seizures and everything. There's
Yeah,
a lot
yeah.
of those wonderful movements,
Yeah.
but the thing is, they're so decentralized
Yeah.
that it's kind of hard to like bring them together
Yeah, yeah.
in like a cohesive umbrella, so to
Yeah.
speak, to coordinate them and make them actually be the people, the actors that may be able to put pressure on like the government. It can be
Yeah.
as simple as like, wouldn't it be so funny if like for just 24 hours every single like government installation in like one city, no,
Yeah.
it doesn't even have to be Jakarta, it can be in like my fuck ass Bandung, okay?
Uh-huh.
All the dinas kesehatan, dinas industri, all these like dinas buildings, for just 24 hours, you have a bunch of protesters encircling
Encircling
them
them.
Yeah.
and making sure no one gets in or out. No
Mm.
Yeah.
work is gonna be done.
Yeah,
God
yeah.
knows how many billion the government is gonna lose just from like that one city's like
Yeah.
installations not being able to function.
Yeah.
But again, that requires discipline. And
Yeah.
how are you gonna do that? How are you gonna pull that off? Like sit in for a 24-hour period when like I said, man, they can't even show up to their own events on time.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's not that's the thing, but that's the problem when it comes to like sit-ins and like long coordinated efforts like this. There's no heroism. That's why it's not as
No.
appealing.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's no heroism. It's not so heroic to it doesn't feel as heroic as like fighting cops during a mass protest
Yeah.
as it does
Yeah.
to like do these things, right?
Mm.
Like these things feel less heroic. It's like, oh, I'm just sitting here, like I'm just locking like the gate and
Yeah.
like sitting and making sure no one comes in. That doesn't feel very heroic to them.
And it
Yeah,
also
I know.
you kind of lose more with those kind of very coordinated long form actions, because
Yeah.
if you think about like big protests that happen every now and then, like it's one day out of like the year, you know what I mean? But like with like strikes and like these like really longer term actions, you're losing a lot more. And I think maybe a lot of people, they can't afford to like skip out on work or lose time away from family,
Yeah.
or like
yeah.
just they can't they have so little to expend that
Yeah.
Mhm.
you can't expect them to also do this, but I don't know, like how do you get out of that? People just seem like super, understandably, they're just so tired, like
Yeah,
they
we're
don't
jaded.
Yeah.
There's definitely, I think, one thing that we haven't really mentioned is like you did kind of touch on this a little bit, but there's a lack of cohesion
Yeah.
and a lack of unity
Yeah.
and a lack of kayak kalau bahasa Indonesia kompak
Betul.
antar apa namanya antar kelas lah ibarat kata ya.
Yeah.
Yang kayak I feel like just off the top of my head, like the most effective or one of the most effective like direct actions that you can do is to just go on strike.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
literally, okay.
People are gonna say that's buruh shit, bro.
No, but
I'm not buruh. That's what they're gonna say though.
Yeah,
keep this in
yeah.
mind though. Keep, well, just
I'm saying this ironically. I am
just-
buruh.
just keep this idea in
Uh-huh.
just keep this idea in your mind, and for all of you who are watching as well, where like let's say we create like some kind of a strike action plan
Mm.
whereby we provide certain demands to the government, to parliament or to the executive branch, for example. These are demands. This is the deadline. If you miss this deadline, uh, people from this labor union
Gonna
will
strike.
go on strike.
Right.
And then people who want to and then as part of the efforts to sustain that strike, for example, obviously, these people who are going off work, they're gonna need money. They're gonna
Yeah.
need to compensate. They're gonna need let's say resources.
Yeah.
What do? So you get from the other branch of this movement, if you will, who are closer to, let's say, the middle class and upper middle class.
Yeah. You donate
say-
and stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah. Mhm.
Here's where you can donate to support this strike.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And we're really missing that sort of coordination
Yeah.
that I feel like we really need to ensure that direct action actually turns into direct action,
Yeah.
as opposed to just aksi. Yang biasanya
Yeah.
kayak orang-orang, okay, let's go down to the street, let's
For
wave
like
some
2
flags.
hours.
Yeah, so that I can have my hero shot. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
Yeah.
Like, and I think, like I said, as much as with all of the let's say kekurangan of 17 plus 8, I know that there was a lot of coordination between like the different groups
Mhm.
of people,
Right.
and so I wonder if that I like I said, I know the sustain and the follow through isn't as strong as it needed to be, but I wonder if at least the initial part,
Mhm.
the initiation part itself, can be seen as a form of blueprint, if you will.
I get you.
Yeah.
That's the thing, right? There's also a lot of like, one of the most commonly laid criticisms about 17 plus 8 is the fact that it was very ego driven,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Ah.
And a lot of
that's true.
people,
How so?
like a lot of people were saying like, oh, these are just like influencers trying to cop the stage and like
Yeah.
want to like show up. And maybe look, okay,
Yeah.
intention or otherwise,
Yeah.
like that's none of my business. I'm not gonna comment on that.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
what I do have to say is the fact that a lot of these like social movements are ego driven doesn't just extend to like the influencers or people who are supporting 17 plus 8, but it also applies for like the grassroots people. Here's the thing. This is what I was saying
Masses.
earlier before I had to move my car. Sorry about that.
Uh-huh.
No worries.
Like I said, we came from like all four of us sitting here. We came from like socioeconomic privilege,
Right,
Yeah.
for sure.
and there's always criticism leveled at us that we have to go outside our bubble. Right.
Right,
That's
yeah,
very
yeah.
common. You'll
Mhm.
hear
Yeah,
that
yeah.
all
Yeah.
the time, and it's valid. Yes, we have to step out of our bubble. We can't just always, we can't always just hang out amongst each other, go get brunch and chipate and like just hey, paddle after
Yeah,
this.
paddle.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
yeah, yeah.
we can't do that. It's
Talk about complain about our problems on a podcast.
yeah, or
Yeah.
complain about our podcast, platform and like
Yeah.
Jaxel,
Yeah, yeah.
we gotta step out of our bubble, and that's true. But the thing is, inadvertently, a lot of these social movements, a lot of these organizations, these communities, these coalitions, they are also in their own bubbles.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Like I'm gonna
Mm.
ask y'all, okay? I'm pretty sure all of us here have
A
like
guest asking a question?
A lot
And
of
know
us-
your place, bro.
all of us here
Cut the feed. Cut the feed. Yeah. Go on.
yeah, I was saying. So all of us here, we have like quote unquote normie friends, as in like people
Mhm.
in our lives, in our like vast circle, not too close to us maybe,
Mhm.
but they're not very political people. I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure we all have that.
Sure, yeah.
Friend,
Yeah,
family, acquaintance, coworkers, right?
Yeah.
And how many of these people, who I'm pretty sure probably make up the majority of all the acquainted people in life,
Yeah.
right?
Mhm.
How many of these people actually go take the time and share a 15-page carousel post on Instagram about why MBG is economically bad,
Not that
in the
many,
country,
admittedly.
right?
Yeah.
Do they
Only
even
people-
like those posts?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
They-
like I said, people like, for the most part, for most people, I'm talking about regular folks, even us here,
Mhm.
who, even though we are pretty adamant with our political views, pretty sure we open Instagram and we hope to be entertained.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, think about like most other people who are already jaded. They gotta like commute with a KRL for like an hour from God knows where. They gotta stand in traffic for a day. Do you
Yeah.
think those? Do you really want to dead ass go up to those people and be like, "Oh, you don't know this? Baca teori dong."
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
that's so
Yeah.
silly. Like
it's
that's so
100%.
patronizing.
Yeah.
We the way with the create a movement, I suppose that is a little bit more encroaching, is to create one that's very easy for people to understand.
Very accessible,
Access.
yeah.
Yeah.
Accessible.
Create the accessibility.
Accessible. That's why a lot of times I follow a bunch of these like pages on Instagram. I'm not gonna name which one,
Yeah,
but they are, ideologically.
I know
in my
exactly which one
opinion,
you're talking
in
about.
my
Yeah.
opinion, they're
Yeah.
ideologically sound and they have like good, takes. They have like
Yeah.
great points of analysis.
Very, very strong theory.
Very
as well.
strong
Yeah,
theory, but they are what I call believe maxing, bro.
Yeah,
Because
Believe
these-
maxing is
it's true.
wild.
It's true.
because these
true.
motherfuckers are out there creating, like, I'm sorry, okay, I have a learning disability.
Uh-huh.
I'm dyslexic. These
Uh-huh.
guys be posting things that are hard for me to read,
Mm-hmm.
and like, if I weren't so interested in political and social issues, I would not even give this a second glance. And
Yeah.
these guys will post these things and they be having like 12 pages.
Yeah.
Like, who is going to sit there and read aside from like lulagi lulagi?
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
why there's
yeah.
this like joke that I have with one of my friends. Is like,
It's
"Panjang
almost a
umur
circle
perjuangan."
jerk, isn't it?
It
Really,
is.
when you think about it, yeah.
It is. It's like a circle jerk. That's why my friend and I, we have this joke. It's like, you know, oleh mereka, dari mereka, untuk
Untuk
mereka.
mereka.
Ah,
Yeah, yeah.
I think I like the Mamdani approach of what I like about how he mobilizes his base and people beyond it. I think is because he talks about politics in a very understandable, approachable, and transparent way. Like he
Yeah.
says, "Look, you got problems with your rent, you can't afford it. Here's what I'm gonna do, and these are the steps that I'm going to take,
Yeah.
and here's how you can help, make that a reality."
There is literally zero theory that he's trying to explain. He's
Yeah.
literally just saying, here's the problem, here are the solutions.
Yeah.
Arguably, why that person who you tried to single out in that video has also been politically successful, to be fair.
It's all vibes.
Yeah, it's all
Yeah,
vibes.
the issue is that I think not that a lot of people are ignorant or they don't choose to learn about these issues. Is
Yeah.
that they know the old song and dance. Like there's a problem, like you're gonna explain to me the problem, and then what? Now I
Yeah.
understand the problem, and I
Exactly.
can't do anything about it.
Yeah.
Exactly. You're just gonna sit there and be a doomer,
Yeah,
right?
I think that's kind of like the thing with people nowadays. Why they feel so helpless is that they feel like they know all these bad things that are happening, and they know nothing that they can do to kind of like prevent it or make it better.
Exactly.
I'm gonna.
Wait,
Go
you
ahead.
got-
Okay. Yeah.
Wait, he was
No,
about
no.
to say something first.
I was about to say something that would take the conversation to that direction. I think Daniel wants to keep it in there for now, so I want
What's
to
up, Dan?
see what you want to
I
say.
don't know what direction it's gonna take it in, but like but I also want to say that like in addition to all of these, like I do get what you're saying about like y'all just be talking yourselves sometimes, especially not to also mention that like even like in the NGO circles there's like
Oh, don't get me
there's like
started.
ada NGO harum, ada NGO yang kayak beneran turun. There's like all these different things, right? And there is a big problem with that. But I also feel like, and I'm just gonna be honest, as someone who is trying to start an IG page with,
Plug it.
unfortunately, I'm trying to keep it under 10 pages. I'm trying to keep the text under 10 pages and in good readable stuff. Like I feel like I'm not even reaching the correct crowd in the first place. And I'm doing that, and like I don't have a background in graphic designs, but I have worked with so many graphic designers, and I'm trying to like, let's make it good, let's make it readable, let's make it funny, let's make it like, let's not use words that you need a PhD to understand. And I feel like I'm not even fucking reaching anyone because I feel like there's already out there like,
There's so many of them already.
no, not just that.
Concentrated.
Yeah.
Not to sound fucking like tinfoil hat, but the system is working against me, right? Like,
I get
like
you.
this is big problem, right? Where like if you mention the genocide in Gaza, your posts nuked,
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
Yeah.
Like even like this the thing that was really big in 17/8, where like, and this was very big in my circles because there were a lot of like where in between all the posts about mutual aid, about like police violence, you have to like post pictures of dogs or yourself.
Yeah,
because
yeah.
the
Algo
algorithm,
cleansing,
yeah,
yeah.
because the algorithm was actively trying to nuke anything. So like, while I do agree that like there's too many theory bros out there, there's just like even trying to reach the person that is like just on Instagram to like ask for maybe mutual aid or ask for something.
Yeah.
Like there's already so many like
Loopholes.
yeah, there's
Yeah.
the algorithm is already like so like biased to just like keep the people just feed the people copium and
Yeah.
not right like how is like I feel like there's a lot of it just makes it even more difficult for people to even try to breach the gap because I feel like we're living on different worlds.
Absolutely. Yes.
How do you bridge that gap? Like how do you like short of being in a community IRL, how
Touch
do you,
grass.
like, yeah how do you like
Like
because I feel like I don't even have the option to touch
I get you. I get you. And I can imagine it's very hard to like, try and break into a quote unquote more mainstream audience or
Mm.
even like try to contend with like this mysterious algorithm that we don't
Yeah.
fully understand, its functions. Like when I was in What Is Up Indonesia, the way I would, try to like model a post is to make sure that the gotcha, the first slide is always a gotcha. It's always like, for lack of a better word, a clickbait.
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know? And I would try to pepper memes in so that there's like multiple ways for people to also enjoy the post
yeah,
and
yeah,
things
yeah.
like that.
You gotta jingle those keys, man.
Gotta
you really
jingle
do.
those
Jingle
keys,
those
right?
keys.
Because
Yeah.
Subway Surfers.
we are in an attention span economy.
Yeah.
Do you know what my best reel in the last 3 months was?
Is it that
The
video?
book about the history of queer existence in
Oh, right,
Indonesia.
right, yeah, yeah.
And how did I start that video? The way I started it, I said that LGBT is not part of Indonesian culture. And I know for a fact when I said that,
Yeah.
I was fishing for the queer attention.
Right.
Because I know that a lot of terminally online queers, not all of them, I know, but like some of these terminally online queers, they kind of like to engage with like,
A bit of
Rage bait.
a rage bait.
bait,
Yeah.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
I want to
Yeah.
try to rage bait them, but at the same time, I was also fishing for like homophobes who like would probably agree with that single statement, and I
Yeah.
did. I got a bunch of those like silly fish in my comment section outing themselves, and even some of them were like giving me entire paragraphs in my DM about how
I saw those, bro.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
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 So I guess
Holy
for
hell.
lack of a better word, right? These leftists always like to say like everyone has a part to play in the revolution, and that's true because like you're gonna have need for people who probably understand the algorithm much more than any of us can.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
fully understand the algorithm,
Mm.
okay, but I kind of try to like play the game and see like, oh, what would probably get me likes, what would probably get me like eyes, what would make people want to stay and watch, past the first 2 seconds
Right.
of like
Yeah.
my video or my post, for example. What would make people want to share it?
Yeah.
And like I said, all these theory bros, right? A lot of them they don't think that these things are important. That's how I feel because
Yeah,
I've met
yeah.
these kind of
Yeah.
people in real life, and a lot of the times when I meet them, it's like I'm getting lectured in like a FISIP class again,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and like nobody wants that. Nobody, not
course.
me, not
Of course
any
not.
quote unquote normie.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
feels patronizing, right?
I feel like these are the exact same bros who would say that would think that most Indonesians are stupid anyway.
Yeah.
Right?
Probably, yeah,
Yeah.
probably, and that's the thing. Like with people like that, like they gotta understand that they can't just hore panjang umur perjuangan with like the
The
same
same people all
the
the time.
same
Yeah.
10 dudes
Yeah,
that
yeah.
they
Yeah.
always hang out and over in their same like grungy ass kedai kopi with like
Non-filter kretek and
with like
tubruk.
non-filter kretek
And tubruk,
and
yeah.
tubruk
At 2 a.m. in the morning.
and loose leaf tobacco sourced from like I don't
Yeah,
know, bro.
yeah.
Like
Yeah, just saying to themselves over and over and again every night.
Yeah.
Jawa adalah kunci.
exactly, and,
Yeah,
and then it's always so funny because you
Yeah.
know for a fact these type of dudes. I know this for a fact because I've met them.
Yeah.
These are the same type of dudes who would come up to people like us and say we have to break out of our own bubble.
yeah,
Mm,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah.
So,
No, it's true.
They should
it's
probably have
absolutely
their
true.
own podcast. You know.
They should.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
should
Yeah.
have their own podcast. I
Yeah.
know.
What,
They
what's
probably
the-
already do.
I'm pretty sure they do, but no one
Yeah.
watches
Yeah,
it.
there you go. Yeah,
Thank God.
I'm not surprised.
What's
Yeah.
so what's been your best experience in trying to break that bubble? And I think this goes for like I think everyone here,
Uh-huh.
given that like I think at least 2 of the people present have big followers on their social media.
Who are they?
Not
Who are they?
that big.
Yeah, I wonder who.
I don't
It's
know, man.
obviously the man that's flat as a cardboard.
Yes, sir.
Man with the
Mr.
glasses, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Mr. Kim.
I guess
My
my
man.
best experience is honestly just I like being catty.
Hmm.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And my cattiest videos where I'm the least serious
Uh-huh.
tend to perform the best.
Yeah.
Whether
Mm.
it's this one video from like a while ago where I don't know how to describe this video, but I basically said something along the lines of like, we before the Americans did, we voted in a president that's a fashion designer's father.
Father, yeah,
But the
yeah.
problem is when I said fash, I zoomed in and behind me there were like 2 soldiers.
Yeah,
So-
there you go.
So I gotta be too I gotta be more unserious, and
Yeah,
sometimes
yeah.
I do unfortunately lose myself in the sauce, and I would ramble. A few of these videos actually did well for some
Yeah,
reason
yeah.
because
Yeah,
I
yeah,
don't
yeah.
want to be a theory bro. So I always try to say things from like what I feel is a more understandable perspective.
Yeah.
Like for
Yeah.
example, one of my good performing reels was also where I was just venting on the camera. It
Uh-huh.
was about the sexual harassment case in UI
Mm,
where I
yeah.
kind of weighed it in because I feel like as a cishet male,
Mhm,
feel like
mhm.
I should also say something to like call out other cishet males.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
And that
yeah.
content did well because I guess it resonated for a lot of people,
Mhm.
which is great. But like for the most part, I try to keep things unserious,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and make it, for lack of a better word, like I want people to laugh, but I also want them to like sort of give it a think after.
Yeah.
Whether they
yeah, of
think or
course.
not, that's none of my business.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess infiltrate the algorithms.
It is a lot more difficult though in some ways because what I get concerned about a lot when making LW content is whether or not it goes beyond my own bubble, and more often than not, it just stays within.
Yeah.
Same here.
You
Same
know what I
here.
mean?
Same here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
Just
I-
why
I
like
feel like I see the same people commenting in your comment section.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's like, no offense, guys, you're great. Please keep commenting. It's great for engagement, but also
Love
I
you guys.
wish
Yeah.
there were other people.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
You're already in our camp.
Yeah.
You're already
Yeah.
with us.
Preaching to the
It's
choir.
great.
because like you need.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
don't
you-
want to preach to the choir either. And
Right.
I do
Yeah.
try to like, I want to try and like experiment because, like I said,
Yeah.
this content creation thing for me, I'm just doing it for fun, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I never worked with like social media marketing or algorithms or
Yeah.
things like
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
So, like I said, I just want to have fun, but at the same time, if I can reach a wider audience, that'll be
Wanna
great.
Have
Yeah.
fun. Yeah.
Honestly, yeah. And honestly, yeah. And this is something you like to talk about a lot, and I feel like, yeah. I feel like one of the solutions to this is like, great, you have a following online. A lot of this seems to be like IRL activations, right?
Mm.
Yeah.
Have you ever tried? I know ILW doesn't have that yet, but maybe some things are in the works, folks.
Oh no,
We'll see.
I want to keep things exclusive.
Yeah.
I want to be untouchable,
Uh-huh.
and I want to ensure that my audience does not know me IRL.
Yep. Anyways, no, yeah. Oh, have you ever considered? Is that something you've considered? Like, because I know you talk about this a lot.
Like
and I
real
feel
life activation?
Yeah, like like meetups, things
Ooh.
that really, things that really.
Is that something on
break
the
the
menu for
bubble.
TooDizi?
I don't even know if it's going to necessarily break the bubble anyway, because I feel like all social media activations are just meetups in Jackson.
Yeah.
But-
That's true.
for the
That's true.
most
But
part.
That's a good point.
that being said, I feel like what are your thoughts on like having people meet up and actually
I'll
like,
be honest. I've
Yeah.
actually thought about having some sort of meetup of sorts, but it's
Yeah.
not gonna be a meetup. It's just gonna be me doing stand-up comedy.
Yeah.
okay.
Actually,
wanna,
that's a
like-
really good point.
Expand,
Yeah, yeah,
expand.
Hey,
And the thing is, like after a stand-up comedy show, there'll be minglings and all that,
Mhm.
and like I don't, it's gonna be inherently political, obviously.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
to quote these like annoying leftist nerds, everything is political, right? So
Yeah.
Yeah.
so I feel like I feel like it's a good way for like my audiences because a lot of them are I love you all, but a lot of them are kind of terminally online.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I would want them
you
to
want
like
to touch grass?
touch grass, or at least touch like the floor of wherever I'm gonna have the stand-up
Yeah.
comedy show at.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I want to market it again, like focus more on like stand-up comedy because we need laughs, bro. We need
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
smile.
Yeah, they
We need
don't.
to have fun.
No lectures.
No lectures,
You're
bro.
gonna come up
I'm
there,
not,
make 'em
I'm not
laugh.
gonna sit there and tell people like, "Oh, have you read book so and so by Dusty White Male A who lived
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
Europe in like 1922. Like,
Yeah.
nah,
Right.
man.
Yeah.
Like,
There's lots of opportunities in lots of comedy clubs in Jakarta that does like the open
mic
mic.
nights?
open mic.
Yeah,
Yeah,
open
I
mic
know. I
nights
know.
and
One
stand
of
up.
them is actually in Chipete.
Oh.
I'm not
Yeah.
advertising.
He performed there at some point. Yeah.
Did
Is
you?
that the
So
one?
did I. Yeah, I did.
Is that
I
is that
performed there.
Andovi's?
Yeah, Andovi's place.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
performed there.
yeah. Oh, you have?
I have.
Yeah.
I have. And I kind of want to keep going at it. But the thing is, again, like I said, I live in Bandung. And I try to, I'm not going to name which one, but I try to actually, perform
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
with a community in Bandung, a comedy community. You know who you are. But I'm not going to mention it. Okay.
Yeah.
And
But they asked me that at first I asked, I'm like, do you guys, would you guys be okay if I perform in English? And they said like, oh yeah, as long as you keep it like simple English so people can understand. Because not all our audiences speak English. And I'm like, okay,
Right.
that's fine. It's like, what kind of like material do you have? I'm like, oh, just look at my content. This is the type of material. They got back to me a whole 48 hours later just to tell me, oh kak, kayaknya kalau kakak topiknya terlalu sensitif deh. Politik-politik gitu mending kita enggak dulu untuk
Yeah.
sekarang.
Mm.
And I'm just
Yeah.
thinking, oh,
Yeah.
And you get, and the thing is, I know one of the people who is part of this circle.
Yeah.
You know who you are as well. He really likes George Carlin, and I'm like, you really like George
Ooh,
Carlin?
wow.
But
Wow.
your circle's like, ooh, this
Okay.
man's too political. Like,
Come
man, you
on.
poser, you know who you are.
Yeah.
Shut the
Yeah.
fuck up.
Peak
You
performative.
know who you are.
Is man?
Huh?
Man?
What else?
Peak
What else could
performative
it
male
be?
right there.
What else?
Swear to God. Wow. But actually, you do make a really good point in that the best place to talk about your stuff is
Mhm.
probably to do it where nobody knows who you are.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
What was your
And
experience?
just being like, just start ranting. You know.
Yeah.
But what was your experience at you did a show
Yeah.
or you did like open mic in Chipete, the Mad for Laughs, right?
Mad for laughs. Yeah.
Yeah, how was that experience?
It was really great. It was so fun. Like, thankfully I didn't bomb.
Uh-huh.
Yay.
Contrary to how we've been going about this podcast, I'm kind of a funny guy according to a bunch of people.
Yeah.
Okay,
I haven't
so-
seen that so far.
Yeah, I know, right? Like,
Yeah.
It remains to be
Not a
seen.
single laugh.
that remains
Was
to be
laugh.
seen. I know,
Yeah.
but I can be pretty funny sometimes.
Yeah.
And thankfully, I was quite funny, even
Uh-huh.
though it was like my
Hey.
first go.
Yeah.
And I got a bunch of laughs,
Uh-huh.
and people did enjoy the show. They did tell me some of the.
Yeah.
I remember there's this one sweet lady who actually said, she also performed the same day.
But she wasn't just a random sweet lady who came up to you and was like,
She was like, "Hey,
did
you
great."
did great," and I was like, "Oh, thank you." I was like, "Thank you. It's my first time." And she's like, "No way, that's your first time. My God, you're a natural." And I'm like, "Oh my God, she's so sweet."
yeah. That's
but at the
fantastic.
same time, unfortunately, I don't live here, right?
Yeah.
So
You can't always do it all the
I
time.
can't always do it all the time. But
There you go.
if I was to have a solo show, that's not out of the cards either. But I
Yeah.
just don't know when I might find the time to do that.
Yeah.
But I might have one.
Maybe we can arrange something.
Maybe we
You know,
can.
maybe something. Yeah.
Yeah.
With the same advertisers that are advertising on the show, right?
Yeah.
all the
Yeah,
all of them.
All the
actually.
advertisers.
So many.
We will send you the
Listen,
whole
listen.
list.
The full stand-up special of TooDizi, sponsored by Lockheed Martin.
Boy,
Right,
I
Kieran?
wish.
No, bro, not Lockheed
Yeah.
Martin. Come on, man, it's 2026. It's Boeing.
Palantir.
Palantir,
Palantir.
baby.
Yeah,
Palantir.
Palantir, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Palantir.
Boeing
Yeah.
stocks are actually
Um,
down now.
Or Elbit.
And the classic, the Israeli military industry.
Yeah,
Mm.
Elbit.
Yeah. Oh, Elbit. That's,
Elbit.
yeah,
Yeah,
that's
that's
what
what
it
it
is.
is.
Yeah.
IWI.
Yeah.
There you go.
There you go. Fantastic. All right, I'm
Yeah.
gonna try to continue speaking now so that we do not end
Have-
up with
have
dead air
Yeah, that's
on
not,
the podcast.
That's not what we want.
Yeah, but it
We
is
gotta
now
keep talking.
June, and
Yeah.
June,
And
as
what
we
is
all
happening
know,
in June, my friend?
is Pride Month.
Oh,
Yeah, there you
And
go.
I'm not. I'm not queer, and so I'd like to.
You're not?
Pass
So
the torch.
I would like the black sheep, the one
Resident
the one
queer speak.
Exactly.
Resident-
Pass the torch to someone who
The
is to
diversity hire.
start the
Speak.
conversation. Yes.
Diversity hire. Please speak.
Is
yeah.
this DEI hashtag?
Please
I
speak.
think I'm trying to find a segue to take from the previous topic to this. Let me, you know what? I'm just gonna go on a limb here. Let's just go there. we talked a little bit about like things like IRL activations, or breaking out of your own bubble.
Yeah.
Right.
And and this is really funny because even though it's not related to what you said about stand-up comedy and shit like that, it's the conversation often touches that.
Yeah.
How do we because there's a genuine concern out here of being like, you gotta break out of your own bubble. Great. You gotta stop being a terminally online leftist. I totally understand that. What do we do when there's actual concerns of like, okay, break your own bubble, and now I have to stand in a room that's 90% testosterone fueled cishet men,
Abang-abang.
yeah, who is going to like ick when I say that, like, oh yeah, my name's so and so, my pronouns are so and so. They're gonna be like, oh, okay, another one of you. What's your take on that? Like, what do we do about that? Because there are genuine concerns that are like, they're let's just also say, like, because we know we like to shit on the theory bros who are gonna post some dead white man, right? Like, ain't none of them are quoting like queer black writers from the 60s, which most of our protests are based on. So like, how do we deal with that? Or at least maybe you have like an anecdote or an experience with that.
Well, when it comes to like experience on trying to like create a safe space for like other minority groups, I'll be very honest, I've been a total failure at that when it comes to like organizing.
Yeah.
Because the problem is, in my opinion, right, it's always up to the majority to what do you call
to give
accommodate.
space, if you will.
Give space. But the other problem is, this is why I also am very vocal when it comes to like my allyship with the queer community, because I feel like a lot of Indonesians who are allies, who label themselves as allies, still play it safe. When I say they play it safe, they would be in proxy with queer people when it benefits them. They'll be saying things that are very quote unquote, pro queer, pro human rights at this point. But only to get an intellectual dunk on someone who's like bigoted. But they won't stand in allyship and declare their allyship. They'll keep playing it safe because they know it might also tarnish their reputation to like advertisers or whatever. And that's the problem when it comes to like allyship. I want to stand firm with allyship, and I feel like as a cishet male, I know probably some of my audience are like, this guy's cishet, because I get that a lot. Okay, I have a lot of queer audience.
The mustache isn't doing you any favors.
Honestly,
the shirt isn't either.
This
That being
entire
said, love the shirt.
this entire aesthetic just screams bear.
But that's why he got the J's on, bro.
That's why I got the Air Force on.
This is a straight flag, right?
This is my straight flag. Okay? This is my straight flag.
Coding,
My straight coding. But what I'm saying is like, I want to stand firm with allyship because at this point in time right now, I can only imagine how, heartbreakingly depressing it is for a lot of like queer people who live in Indonesia, seeing how there's been an uptick of like scapegoating towards like queer people.
That tends to happen,
It does tend to happen, especially when
during
it comes
politically sensitive moments.
in politically sensitive moments. Exactly. It's a great distraction. You know what I mean? And the thing is, I want to make it seem, I want to, by being like out and out ally, I want to make it seem that like being an ally and being public about it isn't hard. Because the thing is, I also have followers who they say they're allies. And they do, but they do the things that I said earlier, where it's like they only declare allyship when they try to get an intellectual dunk, or they want to be convenient about it. Which I feel is like, that means you're not actually, you don't really care about queer people, but you care more about how queer people and queerness can benefit you as a person. And I feel like that's a little disingenuous. They might not realize it. A lot of times they might not realize it. I'm not saying
like, do you see us as people or a market?
Exactly, or a market, right? And the thing is with like me, declaring that like I'm an ally and everything. Funny enough, I actually lost 500 followers that day.
Congratulations.
After that, but I gained 1,000 more.
Yeah.
And I feel like, you know what? Cool. Like, I hope like for a lot of people who see, what I say about like queer culture and like queer people and having to respect them, I hope that it makes them feel somewhat better, that like they know that out there's at least one dude who's like, out and out. I know this is so brave during Pride Month, but I'm straight and I'm cisgendered. I know coming out as straight and
Fuck.
cis.
Whoa!
on Pride Month,
In the year of
I
our
know.
Lord 2026.
I know. I'm so sorry, man. I know this is not the time and place. But the thing is,
Yeah.
I want them to see that people like me
Yeah.
exist. Maybe
Yeah,
not
yeah.
all of not all of the people who consider themselves ally have like the platform. Maybe there are other people like me who are also very accommodating, which I've met a lot of them. But the thing is, maybe they don't have like a big platform, so you
Yeah.
can't see that there are actually people who would stand with you.
Right. Yeah.
And that's all I want really. And
Yeah.
because we should be a better society, man. It's 2026.
Yeah.
Why are we
Yeah.
at
Get
some
with the times.
post Gamergate bullshit? Like the
Yeah.
gay panic. Like, what are we doing?
It does give me a bit of a whiplash whenever like
Mhm.
the people in the circles who I thought were like the younger, more progressive crowd still hold such like archaic, hateful like beliefs towards
Yeah.
LGBTQ people because I'm like starting the comments like, yo, I thought we were cool, bro.
Yeah.
I thought we
Yeah.
were cool, man.
What happened to 2010s era Obama progressivism?
Yeah,
You
what
know what
happened
I
to
mean?
Rainbow Lockheed Martin?
I
bro?
know.
Yeah, we kind of regressed a little bit.
Rainbow
here.
Lockheed Martin is crazy.
But
Oh,
like,
yeah, go ahead.
sorry, but like that's the thing, right? What you said about like providing like a safe space and like accommodating like queer folk them. I feel like it's the job of allies who are straight and
Yeah.
really quote unquote fit in that circle.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Fit in whatever activist circle. It's actually their job to try and make sure that the other cishet
Yeah.
normies accommodate this queer person. I
Yeah.
feel like we need that. I feel like we need
Yeah.
a scary bear.
Yeah.
A scary bear coded
Uh-huh.
scary bear coded ally in
Yeah, yeah,
every
yeah.
one of these like consolidation meetings so that people don't wince
Yeah.
whenever someone says like,
Yeah.
oh, my name is so and so, my pronouns are so and so, and
Yeah.
then
Yeah.
you have like eye rolls and everything. No, I don't want those eye rolls. I want the scary bear to be like, what are you eye rolling about, bitch?
Yeah, yeah.
Mm,
Yeah.
real.
You need sort of heteronormative individuals to try to normalize and to try to sort of like how do you say humanize?
Humanize.
What? Hang on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The fucking fact that I have to say the word humanize in the first place just pisses me the fuck off.
I know. It's stupid,
But,
but this
yeah.
is where we are, man.
Yeah, but it's
Big
like it's like
2026, bro.
it's like we need straight people to say, hey, gay people are humans too, guys.
Yeah, let
Yeah.
them speak,
I
guys.
know.
Let them be part of this.
Yeah, it's like y'all didn't go through the same character development I did. Like,
Yeah.
I thought we were past the homophobic stuff, bro.
I know.
This is
It's
like
shocking.
you passed in
Well,
high school. You didn't go through the
What-
same
what-
thing in high school.
And
What
that's-
happened to
and that's-
Glee as a method of radicalization?
Yeah.
And this is
Did y'all not watch Glee?
Yeah.
Okay, let me crash out about something I'm so passionate about. That's like a bit more pop culture. Okay,
Go on.
Go on, please.
I'm an Indonesian millennial. I'm above the age of 30. Maybe surprising for some of you.
Are you?
But I am.
Damn, dude.
I'm actually above the age
Yo.
of 30. And I say
That's crazy.
Indonesian millennials, and I say this as an Indonesian millennial, Indonesian millennials dropped the fucking ball and buried it 6 feet deep.
No, yeah,
You
no.
know why?
Why?
Because us millennials in Indonesia grew up with the queerest culture.
Swear.
Thank you.
Swear.
We
Yes,
had
yeah.
Aming
Ah,
starring
okay.
in primetime television and starring
Yeah.
in God knows how many Class A company ads.
Yeah.
Flashed to us multiple times a day.
Yeah.
And then we also have people growing up like, Dorce Gamalama, God rest her soul.
Yeah.
But then you grow up
Legend.
and you become queerphobic. What
Yeah.
the hell happened?
Yeah.
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 You really grew up watching
Madam
Arisan.
X.
Arisan, bro.
Yeah, yeah,
The best queer representation in Indonesian cinema. Maybe there's some, short films or like indie films that
Yeah.
I don't know of. I'm not, I'm not a cinephile.
Yeah.
I don't even
Yeah.
got the, what do you call it? Letterbox. I don't got that stuff.
Yeah.
So
Uh-huh.
maybe
Yeah.
there's better representation, but in terms of mainstream Indonesian media portrayal of like a gay person, I think like that's the best one.
Yeah.
And we
Yeah,
grew
yeah.
up watching that, like millennials.
Yeah.
And then
We had
They-
magazines for it too. Gaya Nusantara.
really,
Yeah, they
See,
were-
I didn't even
Yeah.
know that.
Yeah.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
were mag-
Santara.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure. Or like, hold on, there was a magazine.
It was
I
Gaya
in the,
think
in the
it was
Nusantara,
like-
2000s.
I think officially,
Yeah.
the wink wink officially, it was a
Men's
men's
Health
health
magazine.
magazine. There you go.
Yeah.
I think Prabhu was on that actually.
Yeah, Prabhu was- yeah, Prabhu was on that, yeah.
I swear to God.
Yeah,
he was not dunking on gay people, by the way.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
that was the
Yeah.
thing, and he just so happened to be on it.
You know, the sad thing about that is that they they will take the cover shoot of Prabowo on Gaya Nusantara
Yeah, and
as
they're
a
using it to
dunk.
dunk on him because he's
Yeah.
gay, which is what I'm not trying to do.
Well,
Which is
actually,
like
no,
I don't know
yeah.
what fucking evil force orchestrated the whole the botification of the discourse. I'm just gonna fucking say it, right? The botification of the discourse
The
around
botification is
Prabowo
wild, bro.
Yeah.
was so perfect because it led up because all of that discourse about like the flattening of Prabowo's sins into the botification discourse, and then that led right into the BBM and Rupiah rising in the end of
Yeah.
May,
Yeah.
dovetailed straight into Pride Month. So now every single discussion about rising gas prices, the
Yeah.
falling Rupiah, DSI,
It's all the gays.
everything.
It's just because of the gays.
The gays
Yeah,
are
the
making-
gays.
Yeah.
And
The
it's
Velvet
Pride Month.
Mafia.
Yeah, the
Holy
Velvet Mafia.
The Velvet
Fucking
Mafia is
shit.
gonna come get us
Yeah,
all.
yeah. The Lavender Menace.
Like, here's the
Right?
thing, man. When it comes to like these kind of, I know I've said this in the beginning of the podcast, but these are these stupid motherfuckers who get caught up in like the
Yeah.
fact that like, oh, he gay, that's why he bad. It's so stupid
Yeah.
because like,
We got so many more straight, male, horrible politicians
No, yeah.
that have destroyed any potential that Indonesia may have had.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
You know?
So many more.
Holy fuck!
Yeah.
Like, come on.
Like, here's the thing, man. Like, all these people, they're always, one of the DMs I kept getting. It's
Yeah.
an ugly DM. They
Yeah.
were referencing like, I forgot the exact name of this particular Indonesian student. He was a
Mhm.
predator. He
Yeah.
like raped men when he was in
Oh,
England.
I know,
Yeah.
I know
Oh,
what
yeah,
you're
yeah,
talking
I know
about.
that.
Yeah,
that person.
Yeah, yeah, I
Yeah,
know.
the LPDP awardee?
Yeah, that guy.
There you go, yeah, okay.
Like, they were like, bang, masa lu nggak ingat kasus blah 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 blah. And you know what I always say? I'm just like, kenapa lu kalau misalnya ada pemerkosaan, why is it when there's a rapist that
Yeah,
happened to be gay, you remember it? Oh, that's because there's too many heterosexual rapists
Yeah.
for
yeah.
you to even fucking remember.
It's so normalized.
Like,
that
it's so
just-
normalized that like you don't even see it as like a sexuality thing when it comes to like straight dudes. You
Yeah.
don't even see it as
Yeah.
like an identity thing when it comes to like
Exactly.
a pesantren pedophile.
Yeah.
Exactly. I was just
But
about
then
to
when
bring
it's
that
like
up.
a
Yeah.
gay person, it's like, oh my god, that's because of their gayness.
Yeah, it
Like,
lives rent free in your
nah.
head somehow.
Yeah. Like what? It's 2026 again. Like again, I can't believe that this is the same people that grew up with Aming
Yeah.
Yeah.
on primetime television.
Yeah.
You know, like
Yeah.
I can't. Not even. I mean, do you remember in the early 2000s, like there was like the gayest phase of Indonesian pop
Yeah.
music,
Yeah.
Pop
Yeah.
Centil.
Yeah.
that was
I
so
fucking
fucking
love
100%.
Captain Theo.
Coming
Me
back.
too, man.
Yeah.
So expressive.
Coming
So
back.
It is coming back very slowly.
Yeah. Like I to this day, I still live to Lalaki Buaya Darat, man.
You can't tell me that
bench
Mulan
press.
Jamila wasn't, didn't know her audience. At the very
Yeah.
least.
There's no way, man. There's no
Yeah,
way.
she's got yeah.
Yeah, there's no way. Like, like
Come on,
Yeah, okay.
you're very sexy. That's how I deadlift,
Yeah.
bro.
No, real.
It gives you so much
No,
power.
real, yeah.
It does. It gives me so much power.
Yeah.
What happened?
What?
Like, what happened to these people?
You know? Okay, this is my hot take.
Okay,
Go
yeah.
on.
There's no
You
scientific
got a theory?
evidence.
You got a theory?
There's no scientific evidence to back this
That's
shit
the best
up.
kind of take,
Yeah.
bro.
Okay? There's no
Yeah.
scientific evidence to back this shit up. It's just me talking out of my ass.
Go
Unfounded
on.
theories? Let's go.
Unfounded theories.
So
okay?
take this with a
Follow
grain
your
of
gut.
salt.
Follow
So
your
take
gut.
this with 5 grains of MSG.
Yeah.
I think it's because in 2010s Indonesia, everything became so polarized. Everything became so either good or either bad
Yeah.
that people just want to latch on to whether something is inherently good or inherently bad.
Mm.
But at the end of the day, something is inherent.
Right.
What I mean by that is the early Jokowi days, everyone who supported the government, they were chebong.
Mm.
Everyone who had criticism against the government
Yeah.
and appears somewhat religiously Muslim,
Mhm.
they're kadrun.
Yeah.
And it's like inherent. You're like, okay, you're a
Mm.
desert lizard, you're a goddamn tadpole.
Yeah.
That's it. You know,
Yeah.
that's the label. We're labeling each other now.
Yeah.
Everyone keeps labeling each other.
And simplification, if you will, like the
Simplifying.
boxing. Yeah.
And the thing is, when it comes to like queer understanding in Indonesia,
Yeah.
because at that point in like the 2010s, most Indonesian institutions are, that command any type of power are ran by absolute dinosaurs who
Yeah.
grew up in like the most boomer, mindset, and they have no understanding and they don't have any curiosity to even find out what's going on in other parts of the world
Yeah.
when it comes to trying to understand these things. It just spirals into like more and more misunderstanding and more
Yeah.
and more labeling, and therefore, anything that's associated with quote unquote like queer
Yeah.
is always seen as like, oh, that's foreign and that's weird. That's like the Western liberal agenda.
Yeah.
And because that label, that labeling practice has become so effective,
Yeah.
uh most people who are uncurious are just
Yeah.
caught up on those labels.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I remember in my old workplace, I think it was like 2021 or something, in my workplace, LinkedIn had like the rainbow flag
Yeah.
on, right?
I remember that phase.
And I remember like the someone opened LinkedIn with like the big projector,
Yeah.
Mhm.
and one of the other coworkers like, ew, and like pointed out like the rainbow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I decided to step in. I'm like, what's wrong with that? And he's like, yeah, it's like gay shit. This is like, he's like, this is gay shit. And I'm just like, okay, like,
Yeah.
pretty gay of you to think and make it gay
Yeah.
shit. Like, just
Yeah.
because you saw a flag, like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's pretty gay.
Yeah.
Bro.
Fuck, I'm thinking about fucking dudes now.
Yeah.
God damn.
Yeah.
Like, it's so funny because every time these guys always just default to like sex, dude.
Yeah.
Like you like you see these dudes see a gay person
The call is coming from inside the house. at this
inside the
point,
house,
You know what I mean?
inside
Yeah.
the bum.
Yeah.
Because the first thing they think of is just like, oh, you like it in the bum. And it's like have these people ever heard of like, non-sexual love or
Yeah.
anything like that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of sad if you think about it. Maybe it's like
Yeah.
a self-reveal, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As
It's so frustrating because like I want to have so much more interesting discussions around queerness and gender and like
Yeah.
sex and all that. Nope, we just got to reduce to like we're taking it up in the bum.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah. And the fact that the discourse has not left that level is why
Yeah.
we're still demonizing
100%.
like queer
Absolutely.
people
100%.
Absolutely.
in the year of our Lord 2026 when,
Yeah.
when
Yeah.
gas prices are reaching record highs.
Yeah.
Actually, they've gone down.
They've gone down.
They've gone down
Slightly.
after.
slightly.
No. After Trump and the Iranian government signed the deal, apparently saying,
Yeah, because
Yeah,
now
yeah.
all oil from the through the Straits of Hormuz are fine. now.
Yeah.
there you go. Yeah.
Everything's back to normal.
No, it's not.
It's because people stopped taking it in the bum, bro. Once people stop doing that shit, the gas prices went back down.
Yeah, there you go.
Actually, gas prices went back down in the middle of Pride Month. So if anything,
Thank you,
We
queer.
should
Thank
the
queer
gays, yeah.
people.
For
Yeah.
stopping,
Yeah.
for
The
stopping for a little bit.
Exactly.
Thank you, God of
Exactly.
queer people. Who would that
There
be?
you
Who would-
Yeah.
God of queer people. Britney Spears.
We solved
Yeah.
homophobia, guys.
We solved
Yeah.
homophobia.
You did it. You heard it here first.
God of queer people. I was about to say,
Oh,
just
days.
like probably name any of like the indigenous gods that we have. Probably pre Dutch.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like I'm not gonna. I don't want to have to say this again, but I feel like I have to because it's Pride Month and this is our discussion.
Please do.
Because you did say the thing about like like how we think of being like, yeah, we don't want to talk about that Western liberal like gay shit. You know?
Yeah,
When
yeah.
we forgot, we were like, we are homophobic because of the Dutch.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. My reel that I said that did so well, where I said, Indonesian.
Yeah.
It's not part of Indonesian
yeah.
culture.
Was it
I-
Saskia's book you were talking about, right?
No.
the-
It's not Saskia. I don't know his name.
It's
Is
Suku
like-
Pelangi, right?
Yeah, Suku Pelangi.
Okay.
Yeah.
Suku Pelangi. I pointed to a book, and I didn't even outright say that like this is why we should accept LGBTQ plus people, because I feel like that's a given. Why would I need to fucking say that shit?
Yeah.
But like I didn't even say that, and instead I see like the stupidest. Again, stupid being like a point of contention here.
Yeah.
I see the most.
Ignorant.
Fuck ass comment.
The dumbest fuck ass comments that just shows like, oh, this motherfucker don't read, because like they're not interested in reading. They just wanna
Yeah.
thump their stupid ass like bigotry, and
Yeah,
they're
yeah.
commenting, and some of them type out like entire paragraphs, and I'm just thinking,
Like, what
to
about
myself-
bestiality, bro?
Yeah, exactly. It's like they always default to like, what about incest, necrophilia?
What about
and
necrophilia, bro?
bestiality? And I'm just thinking, Why would you even think these
Yeah,
things
exactly.
in the same vein?
Why is there like a cascading effect when we're just trying to talk about, hey,
People and person and
people
person.
are in love with each other.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they're between consenting adults.
But then the
Yeah.
most
Yeah.
annoying part is like
The-
the most typical argument is when they bring up that it's not apa itu menyimpang di dalam agama. And I'm like, okay, dude, even if you think that way, and obviously, first of all, like not all religions think the same, duh.
Yeah.
But like also, it's like, well, so is like pork, so is like alcohol.
so it's
Yeah.
porn,
You want
bitch.
to
Yeah.
make that like
Yeah.
like a
And,
whole rule?
Yo, man, motherfuckers be saying, oh, this is not part of, this is banned by the religion. But
Yeah.
they be googling to JAV. You know that for a
Yeah.
fact.
Yeah.
Like,
And
It's
there's
like
also
the highest.
No, y'all be putting your money in banks with interest.
Yeah.
exactly.
If you
There you go.
really want to go there.
Exactly.
Bro,
If you
you-
really
the hierarchy of haramness on the top, makan daging babi, bro.
Makan daging babi.
Pork, that's number one.
Pork is number one, man. Everything else, makan uang makan uang jemaah haji. That's
Yeah,
fine.
yeah. And there's an argument as well for like just anyone who says that is like, hey, there are different interpretations of religion anyway. So we can argue
Yeah.
about this with as much time as possible, but like for as long as we want. But it's just not going to go anywhere. So we may as well not use
Yeah.
that as our focal point of discussion in the first place.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like it's like you're saying, but what if I'm allergic to apples? And we're like,
Then you don't eat apples.
yeah, then don't eat apples,
Not
man.
telling
Yeah,
you,
it's
not
all
telling
good.
you to be gay, bro.
No one's telling you
You
to
don't
be
have
gay.
to be, bro.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Unless
just
you
some
want to.
people, you know, they like apples.
Yeah.
For some
That's
people,
fine.
apples may be the only thing they can eat.
Yeah, exactly.
We're not making you eat apples. Calm
Yeah.
the fuck down.
It's okay.
Yeah, exactly.
I saw this really good video earlier when it's like, oh, Pride Month isn't about turning your straight kids gay. It's about not turning your gay kids dead.
Oh,
There you go.
You know
That's a
what I
bar.
mean?
There you go.
That's
That's a bar.
That's a bar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't credit me. That was
Oh, okay.
I know. I mean, whoever did that, thank you to the person.
Honestly, what a
Yeah.
guy.
Yeah, what a
Yeah.
guy. Yeah,
Like,
absolutely.
And that's the entire point of inclusivity and like acceptance. Like, hey, we just don't want people to die. We just want people to be happy.
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah.
Exactly.
We want
I think
people to
that's
be
kind of
happy.
like-
Yeah.
And the thing is,
we want people to be able to live their best lives.
yeah.
We want people to live.
How is that so?
Want people to live.
How is that not so simple to understand?
Exactly.
But isn't that
How is that not so simple to
And-
understand?
And a lot.
We want everyone to live their best lives.
Mhm.
Sorry, I'm done.
And a lot of these jackasses always default to also thinking that like sexuality is a choice. Okay, if sexuality is a choice, you can choose not to think about gay people having sex.
That's true. Yeah.
Like, again, calls coming from inside the house. But like, if sexuality is such a choice, and you think that like seeing, a kid seeing two men kissing would make them gay, show them a man and a woman kissing. They're going back. They're going back to heterosexuality, right?
That's true.
That's how it
That's
works,
true.
right?
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's like, why would you choose to be gay in this kind of like environment? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
This
yeah,
country,
yeah.
this economy.
That is, that is the point.
If I had the choice,
Yeah.
why would I choose the other one?
There's another quote that I remember from Jamila Jamil who said that basically it's like anyone who believes, or well, she said something to the effect of like, people who say that being gay is a choice, there's a likelihood that they made that choice themselves.
Oh, that's a
Yeah.
bar.
Oh, that's
Yeah, and I think I'm not saying that's a thing. I'm just saying I think that's an interesting thought process.
absolutely, yeah.
You're
In
saying
its
that
own
they
right,
made
too.
the choice to be straight.
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
they're like, I could do it. Why can't you?
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Yeah,
And there you
like
go.
I live in misery. Why don't you?
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah.
If I
Isn't
have to
that-
be,
isn't
if I
that-
have to be
that's just
miserable,
more
you
than-
do.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. I have to betray myself. Your turn.
like
Everyone has to betray themselves right now.
the thing is like I
Being
never
true to
understood-
yourself? What the
I never-
fuck is that?
I
Sorry,
never
you were gonna-
no, I was gonna say I never understood either why like people like straight people. I know I'm straight, but like
Damn,
It-
could have fooled me.
it's pretty really. No, I gotta be honest. There have been comments here and there being like, "Hey, sexy," and I'm like, "Hey, man."
High five. You and me both, bro.
Happens at
I appreciate the attention, my guy, but
Thank you.
you know,
Please
thank you. Please keep them
Please
coming.
keep the algorithm
Yeah.
going, because I don't want to
Yeah.
end up on the other fucking side.
Yeah.
Yo.
No, but anyway, it's like, hey, you knew for a while that you're straight, and you
Yeah.
knew because you found the voice. Well, at least from my perspective, like I found this the voice of women, and like let's say, just basically women attractive,
Yeah.
and so it's like, hey,
Yeah.
that's how I know I'm straight. You know?
Satya when women. Oh my god, me when women.
Shout out women, bro. My favorite gender,
out
bro.
women.
Shout out women.
No, let me
Women
shout,
are my favorite guy.
shout out, guys, shout out my wife. Hello.
Shout out
love
his
you.
wife.
Why, Satya's wife.
Shout out Satya's wife.
No, but it's like, hey, like my own sexuality is pretty simple to understand, but at the
Yeah.
same time, like, why is it so difficult for straight men who cannot accept? Non-straight men,
what
like,
what
hey,
was the most mind blowing thing for me as like a reforming homophobe
Go on.
in college?
Oh.
It was
go
when
on.
it was when a good friend of mine, we were hanging out at the bar. It was like, and I think we were doing like those truth or dare stuff.
Uh-huh.
And I think one thing led to another. I think the guy was asked like about his sexuality,
Mhm.
and the one thing that stuck to my mind was when he said that, well, sexuality is a spectrum, and I'm
Yeah.
leaning more towards straight. And I'm
Right.
like, yo, spectrum.
Spectrum.
So it's not
Yeah.
binary, bro.
Yeah,
Nah,
that's
that's
exactly-
crazy.
There's also that entire
real,
Yeah,
real.
but-
that's
sorry,
actually-
But that kind of reframed my thinking. I was like,
Yeah.
oh,
Same.
Yeah,
so like,
exactly, yeah.
so like you can be kind of gay. No, I
Yeah.
get it now.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like, and in college, I don't know if you guys ever thought
Yeah,
about
yeah.
this when you're starting to like, be more into that environment and you're more comfortable with yourself.
Mhm.
At a certain point, I'm like, yo, am I?
Yeah.
Or at least am I a little
Definitely
bit
something.
bi?
Yeah.
And then I think like I have to be one or the other, right? But then like,
Uh-huh.
okay, maybe I can, like I'm not like, let me imagine in my head like being with dudes, and I'm like, I'm not digging it. Not
Yeah.
no offense, but like it's all right. You
No,
know,
no.
I can see some dudes as attractive. Like
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that's
Yeah.
as much into that side of the spectrum I'm at. So
Yeah,
it's like
yeah.
it's chill to like think about about
Yeah.
it that way. You know what I mean?
It is.
Like it can be a little gay.
Yeah. It's
Just a little.
absolutely fine. It is absolutely
treat.
fine.
It's normal.
Straight men can be a little gay as a treat.
But I feel like that's the one thing that straight men cannot accept
Yeah.
as part of themselves. And here we go. There's going to be a little bit of intersectionality here, folks, because I feel like a major part of that is the patriarchy and the fact that men or society
Yep.
teaches men to hate women
And
and
being
teaches
womanly.
and being
Yeah.
womanly.
You have
Yep.
to be.
Yes.
This is the right kind of man.
Yeah,
Yep.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yep.
The sort of hyper masculine,
Yeah.
no femininity whatsoever.
Machismo.
And if there's
Yeah.
any sort of like hint of femininity,
Yeah.
immediately you're off the,
you're less manly.
you're less manly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And just if you're just a little bit gay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bam. What? All right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I think because I think most of the times, while there is a lot of like discussion about like, oh yeah, why is there so much like reinforcement around like masculinity stuff like that? Because
Yeah.
most of the time I think, and this is like the very nuanced discussion that I want to discuss, but I can't fucking discuss it because y'all still think the president is taking up the bomb or something. And
Nothing
we
wrong
haven't
with that.
left that house yet.
Not
we haven't,
that-
we haven't
nothing
left
wrong
that floor.
Yeah.
I wanna be on the 15th floor. You got me stuck in the fucking basement.
Yeah. Not that that's any of our business anyway.
Yeah.
You know
Yeah,
what I
exactly.
mean?
No,
Yeah,
because I think most of the times, because it's not really about like who you're fucking or like how you're fucking. I think it's because like most of the times conversations around power, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Being like whether it's like you're approaching this from the angle of like coloniality, where it's like, oh yeah, I want straight people, they fuck, they have children, and that makes it harder for them to join the revolution. Great. Or like,
Yeah.
oh, straight people, they fuck, they have kids, now they have to be at the factory. They can't afford to not be at the factory, right? A lot of I think, if we're all kind of like, I don't want to be on the thing of being like, yeah, male loneliness epidemic is self-inflicted. Haha, men are lonely. That's so funny. Because a lot of the time it's also kind of being like, no, a lot of people decided, I don't know, probably like 500 years ago or something, that like it was good that men hate themselves.
Yep.
Because when men hate
Yep.
themselves, oh, you can just point at someone and they'll fuck them up, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then like your comment sections are proof of that, if anything, right?
Yeah.
Because I think a lot of the times being like, hey, there's nothing easier to manipulate than a man who hates themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, that's like the
100%.
default. And that's
100%.
that's the and then I think that's the default, and I think that's why a lot of the times it's so not even easy. It's so important for everyone that men do, grow up, thinking that pink is bad.
Yeah.
Or feeling inadequate.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Or
yeah.
like, feel like, when their hand touches their male classmate's hand,
Yeah.
it's bad, bro.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah, bro.
Look at this. We raise our hand.
See,
We raise
guys?
solidarity.
Happy
See, guys,
Pride
it's
Month.
not
Happy
so
Pride
Month.
scary.
Happy
It really
It's
Pride
not
isn't.
so
It
scary.
really isn't.
Exactly. It's not
Yeah.
The
scary.
straights can be a little gay as a treat.
I don't want to like that.
We're married men, bro.
No, yeah.
What the fuck? Get your hands
Yeah.
off
Yeah. Get your
Yeah.
hands off
me.
me,
Hands
man.
off me.
I think the evidence or like,
Yeah.
like the proof of why these conversations are mostly about power, not really about like taste or appearance,
Yeah.
is the fact that like, as of like just think of like 2025, the like performative male epidemic, right? Where like men are wearing scarves right now. Men
the
are
tote
wearing baggy
bags.
pants. Yeah, right. Things that used to be famous for like lesbians and gays in the 2010s. Suddenly, it's a straight man thing.
That's
Right?
true.
Right?
That's
Because
true, that's
because
true,
at the end of
yeah.
the day, it's not about like, oh, who you fuck or how you're fucking. It's being like, how much power does this give me? Like how much money I can make, or like
Yeah,
how
yeah.
how
It's true.
agreeable does this
Like
make me to people?
convenient allyship, for example.
Oh, yeah.
No, yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, because like, like if anything, there's like gay people are kind of, or like queer people are kind of just like a market right now
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
for them, right? And
Yeah,
it's
yeah, yeah.
like, are you actually going to like empower these people by giving them rights,
yeah.
giving them a voice,
Mhm.
right? Or are you just like, please give this video, please reshare,
Yeah.
please repost,
absolutely.
right?
They realize the
Totally.
gays have money too.
Yeah, exactly.
And they can spend it all they
fucking
want.
rainbow Lockheed Martin. Not even a joke. Because
Yeah.
I've seen the retweets.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
See, that's why, man. Like another thing, we got like 5 minutes left. I saw Luca.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
That's another thing that I feel like I was also trying to do with like blatant allyship and
Yeah,
everything.
yeah.
It's to also show that like it's to hopefully show other straight content creators
Yeah, yeah,
or even straight people out there that like you won't be alone if you're gonna
Yeah.
be an out and out ally. You won't be alone if you try to make your platform like a safe space for these
Exactly.
people. Because
It's
I have-
okay.
it's okay, and I
Yeah.
have blocked a lot of like the worst, the most heinous like commenters. I've blocked them because,
Yeah.
in my opinion, look, like I said, I do this shit for fun because I want to. I don't want my comment section to have like, a dude who's like very out and out gay, with like their like online presence or whatever,
Mhm.
and have them be like terrorized by like
Yeah.
Yeah.
some fucking neat with like an anime profile picture, and that's why I don't know. That's actually why another reason why I'm never scared, so to speak, to also
Yeah.
speak up because 90% of my ops, when it comes to like homophobic,
Yeah.
ops, 90%
Yeah.
of them are like either privated accounts,
Yeah.
or they have like an anime profile picture,
Yeah.
or they just like even if they are not any of those things, like they
Yeah,
have
yeah.
like a public profile, I'd see their profile and I'm like, oh, I don't want to be elitist
Yeah.
on camera, but ooh, man.
Yeah.
You
Yeah, I
really
get
have
that, I
got
get
nothing
that.
going
It's
for you.
never
other
that
than-
scary.
Yeah.
Screaming into a
It's never
screen.
that
Yeah.
scary for me,
Yeah.
man. So
Yeah.
Actually, it reminds me of the one comment that we got.
Uh-huh.
And it was like this guy was saying, "You guys are not hot enough to have all these hot takes." And the guy
Who said that?
No,
And
yeah, I remember
know.
that one. I
and
remember
I'm
that.
like, I need to see what this guy looks like.
Yeah.
And his profile picture was just like him, and then his entire face is covered by his phone. And it was in fucking like office bathroom or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
And even from that picture, it's being
But-
like,
Yeah, you're
those
not-
pants,
you're
that
not looking-
haircut. Sorry.
All
Your
that-
mom told you to get an ugly haircut 10 years ago. You never left it.
all
I'm sorry.
that hate is not gonna make that hairline go back.
Yeah.
buddy.
Yeah.
Oh no!
Try minoxidil.
Yeah.
Go to Turkey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Get gender affirming care. in Turkey.
Yeah.
You know, real.
Exactly.
Get some
Gender
gender
affirming
affirming care.
bro.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. Before we wrap up the show, then I'd like to ask all of you,
Yeah.
not just our guest Dizzy, any final thoughts that you'd like to share?
Final thoughts. Guess don't be stupid. Be charitable. be disciplined. If you want to make change, be disciplined. Okay, I know this is gonna sound like some Jordan Peterson clean your room bullshit,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
how are you gonna try and clean up the regime if you can't even get up before 9 a.m. or show up to your own events on time?
Yep.
Yeah.
And how are you going to create a better Indonesia if you can't even accommodate people who are different than you?
Yeah.
Mm.
That's all I want to say.
That's very pointed, I
That's a
would
great
I
say.
think
way
you
to
said
end
it.
all the things I wanted to say.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah.
what he said.
And you don't need and in order to believe all these things, I promise you, you don't need to read 3 books, 2 theses, 5 essays by some
Yeah.
dusty white man from 1922. I
Yeah.
promise
Yep.
you.
Just
Yeah.
talk to your neighbor.
Talk to a gay person.
Yeah.
Yeah,
get to
exactly.
know a
They're
gay
much
person.
cooler than
That's your
you
homework.
give-
Yeah. Talk to trans
Talk to
people.
one person from your erte.
Talk to gay people.
Talk to one gay person,
Yeah.
and then
Uh-huh.
You might have
Yeah.
the same things in common.
Yeah,
Exactly.
honestly.
Exactly.
Maybe,
Yeah.
maybe you both like football.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I have a bunch of
Maybe you're both worried about the rupiah.
Yeah, exactly.
Gay
Maybe
people can like football.
absolutely.
They
Maybe
can like
you're both
basketball.
Maybe you're both into that really niche hobby of like looking at fighter jets at night and just, suddenly being like, hey, you heard about that F-15 that was struck down in Iran, bro?
Ah, yeah.
Shit's fucked, man.
Hey,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
Maybe sometimes for some people they have to realize the L in LGBTQ can be
This is
for
Lockheed
Lockheed
Martin.
Martin.
All right. And on that note, thank you very much for
Lock-
watching the totally
bisexual.
normal podcast.
Lockheed Boeing.
Yeah.
Bang. Bang. I try to think of the cue, but
Yeah,
I
I'm
can't.
almost thinking of
Nah.
the cue.
Okay,
Quantica.
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 They do like firewalls for the Israeli Iron Dome.
There you go.
Isn't Quantico like literally the place where the CIA is based in as
Yeah.
well? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, being gay doesn't stop you from doing war crimes.
Yeah.
Remember
Yeah.
that.
It
Yeah.
really doesn't.
You
But
too
it
can do
really
war
doesn't.
crimes.
That's not what they mean when they say be gay and do crimes, though. Not
No,
that.
no,
Not that
no.
kind of
Not
crime.
war crime.
Not that kind of
Not
crime.
war
Yeah,
crimes.
yeah.
That's definitely really
Stick the
fucked
petty
up.
ones.
Stick to
Alrighty.
petty ones.
Yeah.
Stick to shoplifting. It's good.
Thank you,
You
everybody.
didn't hear from us. That was not legal advice.